What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Too Sweet Society. And in this video, we are going to be in this episode. I'm sleep deprived, y'all. I'm so sorry. Y'all finna get a whole lot of bullshit.
Everybody's tired. Everybody's tired.
Man, in this video, bro, what are we talking about? SummerSlam, the
women's
aftermath,
division.
women's division, motherfucking goddamn
Roman defending his title on Raw.
Yeah, AAA, lobotomy Axel. You know,
all right. Didn't know
Ludwig Applebottom.
I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea where the lobotomy thing was going. Okay.
No, you know.
Hopefully our fans will pick up on that, especially if you've been following us on social media. You know that I have been calling LA Knight every name but his name until WWE or Luxembourg Alliance lets us know that the LA stands for something other than left apparatus. Then damn it, hey, he gonna be
left
every name
apparatus.
Bro, I don't give a damn.
should we start with him though? Because actually no, we have to start with SummerSlam because he ties into SummerSlam.
Man, we ain't gotta talk about what happened at SummerSlam regarding that.
You know what?
We ain't gotta talk about that.
You know what? We don't have to bring that up. We all know how we got here.
That was AI.
That didn't happen?
No, it didn't happen. You know how WWE loves using AI, bro. That shit did not happen. I promise you.
There was no Usos SummerSlam weekend.
No,
physically.
No,
it was AI.
No. Yeah, no, that was AI generated. Just like everything else that's been rolling out of SummerSlam.
Was the entrance AI also, or was that part real?
No, that was real. That was real for sure.
I was gonna say, I mean, it could have been like with the mask. We could pretend that was AI, that his wolf mask, and it was the only one real there was Jay.
She wants to keep the entrance. The entrance.
No, once the bell rung, they got out the ring, and then the camera switched to an AI generated match. That's what happened. They was playing 2K. They had set it up. It was computer versus computer, so CPU versus CPU, and they let them duke it out. Unfortunately, you know, something traumatic did happen in that moment. Every Usos fan worst nightmare.
We gotta pull it out.
Man, it's hurting, bro. It's hurting me so bad, bro. It is. But hey, prayers going up. Prayers going up for my beloved Jey Uso, man.
Yeah, he went through it on Friday. I didn't even realize until after I sent everyone the video that he was fully upside down. I was like, oh my god, Jay.
That's why I quoted you, and I was like, man, he damn near died Friday night, bro. Over there, I need him to start facing folks when he decide he want to run it back 85 bazillion times in dark matches, because what you mean you about fell on your noggin out the ring, literally went tumbling. Typical. I need him to turn off that ragdoll feature, bro. He's gonna have to turn that off.
I gotta go to a live show, I think, because they're so much more fun when they're not on camera. I've never been to a live show. Like, I mean, like, I've been to obviously like a taping, but like not on TV. Like, even Braun was being so funny. If you like, I was just like, wow, like this actually shows their personality more. Yeah, Austin Theory was like yeeting on the table too, and I was like, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be yeeting right now. What the hell's going on? So
I mean, even he can admit that yeeting is fun. You know, it's
fun.
So a workout, your arms might get tired a little bit, but like, you know, it's fun. It's fun.
I will say though, you could definitely tell Jimmy acts himself all the time though, which is like I love, because he's just as goofy normally as he was. Well, even like Jay too. Like, it was just. It's nice to see, like, that they are themselves. Like, I mean, I know they still are playing a character, but that does make my heart feel good, because, you know, a lot of I don't think, are acting themselves.
That's why they lost.
My sister was like, we're sure that, like, Maxine and Austin, like, that's, like, they're just playing a role, right? And I said, yeah, they're just good at it. I said, Maxine's just good at playing that role. Like, she is good at it. They look so good.
It's just when you put two bad bitches together, and you just when you put them together like that, you maximize their joint, bad bitch. You feel me?
Even when she
And
got in the ring, he was like making all these faces, and I was like, oh my god.
That's what I was telling you, bro. Man, their type of
So good.
romance on Raw, just like they just give mature, right? They give hey, we're out of college. You feel me? We're not just like,
For the grown folk.
yeah, we for the grown folk, right? Everything's supposed to be sexy. Everything's supposed to be alluring, bro. I'm watching my man. He looks good. And he looks good whooping that man's ass over there. She ain't got to lift a finger unless she wants to lift a finger. And for the most part, she ain't got to because he right there lifting the finger for her. You feel me?
She's so,
You know?
I mean,
It's just so dreamy.
Like,
they need to have
she
they just need to have women on my screen more, because every woman that works for them is so, like, I will never get over, I'm gonna have to go on about this, I will never get over Jade Cargill. I know I saw her at SummerSlam. I didn't see her that close up because I usually go to Raw shows. When I tell you, my sister has a video, I was just like this. Like, for a good 5 minutes holding my phone, like, my jaw was to the floor, and I was like,
it's the goddess. It's the
like,
goddess.
with the whole ride home, Lexi was like, I don't think I knew that Jade really, like, was that intense in person. And I was like, well, she is. So.
Yeah, no, she is that pressure for sure. She is gorgeous, and I'm happy that a lot of people are recognizing how gorgeous she is, because a lot of people in the Black community have a stigma around muscular women. They do not like muscular women because they associate muscular women with masculinity, and so they have a thing for wanting to call women who are muscular men and say very degrading, derogatory things about them because they're muscular and they're not dainty and feminine or fragile. Like, I kid you not, my grandma does not, she fears, she hates that I lift weights. She hates that I be lifting, because she's like, please do something other than lift weights, because you don't want to look strong. You don't want to look like a man. I'm like, girl, it ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm over here trying to look good for myself. I see Rhea Ripley, and I see Jade Cargill, and I see Bianca Belair, and I see Naomi. All of them got 8-packs, and they look good as hell in a
Charlotte
dress.
got an 8-pack too. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I knew
they
she
look
had
good in a
abs.
dress.
I was like, damn.
They look good in a dress. They look good in whatever outfit they want to put on. It could be the most avant-garde outfit known to man, and they pull it off with ease, and they look like goddesses. I want to look like a goddess. I want to look like a goddess. I want to command a room when I walk into that bitch. Those women, they command rooms every single time they walk in that bitch, and they know that they that bitch. You feel me? So I'm all for it.
You could hear the gasps when Jade, like, I mean, and I know, like, I don't know how, I don't remember her getting that reaction in SummerSlam, and maybe that's because it was, like, huge and outside, and it was, like, you know, she was with Tiffy, and we know how.
Were you at SummerSlam?
Last year, not this year.
Oh. I was
I'm not gonna lie. She kept saying at SummerSlam, and I was
no. I've only seen Jade come out, like, one other time. She's not usually on Raw. So I saw her at the Mania before, but it was, like, with Naomi and Bianca, and I was just excited that they were together. So I wasn't really, I guess. But, like, where our seats were, because I usually am on the floor more, and I will never get floor seats again. That you were right, where, like, being on just, like, the first upper little level gave me the perfect view. So I feel like
best view.
Yeah,
I know. This is the first time.
You're short.
This is the first time I've ever had this clear of a view. I was like, oh my god, I could see everything. So I guess because, like, I didn't have a big man standing in front of me, like, I feel like I got a lot better of a view of some of the wrestlers than maybe I wouldn't have gotten in the past. And even, like, when Jay turned around and, like, faced us, like, everybody behind me was like, oh, wow. And I was just like, I wonder, like, how it would feel for her to, like, hear that. Like, I don't know, it was just special to hear the audience, like, being like, holy shit, look at her. Because just from seeing what she went through, like, up to, like, a WrestleMania and stuff, like, the crowd was happy to see her.
I mean,
I think the only time
my
Oh,
bad.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, the thing is that Jade herself is quite confident in herself,
Oh
but
yeah.
she surrounds herself with nothing but positivity. Like, you see her engaging with her fans a lot. You can tell she has a great relationship with her husband, with her friends.
Oh, her
So,
husband treats her like a queen.
you
She
know, and
makes
so
sure to show her daughter that she can be anybody that she wants to be,
I
and
love her.
tries to teach her to recognize her worth. And I
Hmm.
love that about her as well, because she makes sure to let her daughter know every single time that you are beautiful no matter how you look. You can be strong, you can be powerful, you can be fierce, as long as you are being yourself and you spreading kindness and positivity. And I fuck with that. I fuck with that real heavy,
She's such a good
because
role
not
Exactly.
everyone
model.
has a strong mother figure in their lives like
Yeah.
that. And so I
True.
think it's incredibly important to have someone like, have a mother that's like, hey, let me teach you, let me guide you, and then let me watch you grow.
Right.
Like,
She pours
I'm all
into
for it.
people. You can tell
Yeah.
she's very much someone who pours into others. Cause not even just from my own interactions with her, from the interactions I see with like other people, she's gonna make sure that she's hyping her fans up, because she actually appreciates the fact of knowing, like, hey, without you, I wouldn't be able to continue to do the things that I love to do, that I want to do. And so you'll always see her telling someone that, whatever they worked on hard looks good, or that they themselves look good, and that she's grateful. Like, I just adore her, and I don't like the hate she gets, because she's just too kind-hearted of a person for that. Like, she don't deserve it.
Yeah, and you could tell that her and Charlotte, that's why their match was so good and their chemistry in the ring was so great, and you could tell that they like cared about like what they were doing and had respect for each other, and I feel like that would go such a long way. I mean, most of the women I feel like do, but I do feel like it goes such a long way in the
Mm,
ring when you can see that.
I,
right.
I feel like a lot of people had their thoughts on that match. Because I thought it was a good match
I did
myself.
too.
And then I get online and literally everybody and their grandma is ripping it apart, but they're not putting blame on both Charlotte and Jade. They're more so centering it on Jade.
Yep.
And
What?
Yeah, no,
yeah, they're saying it's
everything is
Jade.
Jay's fault.
She she
Jay did
took
this. No, Jay is the reason why the end was so quote unquote sloppy. When, mind you, one of the
she
main reasons the
hit
end
the
was messed up is because she was flipping. You know how much momentum you have to get on both sides to just flip someone over your head. The
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
momentum was too heavy and they stumbled. That's it. That's all. And it's not that. It's that Jade is doing things she can't do, and Jade can't wrestle, and Jade should just go back to NXT. However, on the men's side, you want the man that botches almost every single week to win the world title off my goat. Get the fuck out my face. I'm
Clock it.
sorry. I'm sorry that man has more botches. And I don't point out botches,
Yeah.
because accidents happen. These
Yeah,
are
for sure.
humans. They are going to slip. They're going to fall. My whole thing, anytime a botch happens, is that I hope the person is okay physically.
Right.
Mentally also, because I'm sure they're beating themselves up. But we don't give the women, especially Jade, the same grace that we give certain men. Because a man bot, unless it's Jey Uso, obviously. But if a man botches, oh, was that what you were thinking?
I
Yeah,
was
they
waiting
give
on
you
it
that
because I was
now.
like, wait
I
a
just
minute, bro, because I'm in the trenches.
I get it,
Yeah,
and that's
Jay.
why I had to go on and clarify, because what's the name for him right now? I don't want to come up with one. What's the name? I need a name for that.
What's
man.
the name for? Oh, for laboratory association.
There we
You
go.
feel me?
If he
Hell
messes
yeah.
up, it's still, he deserves a world title. And you know what? He does. He does. I won't take that away from him, because he has put in the work. He shows up weekly. He does his job. Does not matter if I am personally a fan of him. He does his job. But you can
Man.
push for him to get a world title, but you want Jade to go the WWE ID. Get the fuck out my face, dog. Don't ever play with my girl like that. Hell wrong with y'all. I'm so sorry.
No,
Been pissed
No,
because
off.
it's real.
I've been pissed off since Friday watching it, because y'all have lost y'all's goddamn minds.
it's so weird the reaction from like in person to like online, and I hope and I'm glad a lot of the wrestlers like kind of just take what is being said online with a grain of salt, because you would have never known anyone felt that way in the ring. I mean, like when they were in the ring, and I don't think it even looked, I mean, from where I was, it didn't look sloppy to me. I mean, she literally looked like a fucking superhero in the goddamn
ring. It wasn't sloppy. I've realized that WWE fans have sometimes a warped perception of how they view things. And okay, perfect example is night 1 of SummerSlam, right? Mm-hmm. There were people who shook me because they were like, SummerSlam sucked. Night 1 was trash. And I was like, what? And then when you ask them why, they bring up the last 2 matches. And what I've come to understand is WWE fans do not remember an entire 2 to 3 hour show.
Yeah, meanwhile, the first
they
match
remember
was, like, amazing.
That cluster in the last few minutes. The last thing they saw is what they're holding on to, and that's what they're gonna base their entire judgment off. So
I didn't even think Cody and Punk was that bad of a match either, like everyone was saying.
Well,
I mean, I know everyone thought he pooped himself, but it just didn't go. Yeah,
the both of them can do better than what that was.
If I had $1,
a terrible one, but it wasn't.
If I had $1 for every time I saw a meme of CM Punk's crooked moonsault, bruh, they was tearing his ass up on TikTok.
Wait, that's another point. That's another point, though, because his fans are justifying that moonsault. He knows he can't do a moonsault. It was in honor. It's okay. He's laughing it off. Ha 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 ha. But y'all are jumping down Jay's throat.
Yeah, you got to hold that same energy with everyone.
No, and I'm gonna be quiet.
There's a lot of biased CM Punk fans. As a CM Punk fan, like, I don't agree with a lot of what people say. I'm like, huh?
I know Tony get tired of us whacking the hell out of him every damn episode, but lately, he's kind of been on our list, bro. Mads, I love you, girl, and I'm so sorry, my lovely yellow-haired friend. But like, I don't know, bro. This last run of CM Punk's, man, this man is walking around here like bulletproof without a bulletproof vest on. Because the shit that he's able to get away with saying in promos against other people and no one can whack the shit out of him is crazy. Because what do you mean you come after Kevin Owens' son, right? You shoot at Kevin Owens' son and Kevin can't say shit. In his weight, like,
I literally gasped for that. I was like, "No, Punk, don't do it." He said they call me skinny fat,
Larry.
And yet still got ate up.
Like, my thing
and still got ate up by Kevin, who couldn't even say that much other than you're a shitty person.
I need someone, and I love Punk, and I feel like, I love Punk a lot, I really do. But I do feel like his segments, his promos, when he's going up against other people, leave a lot to be desired because they can't say what they want to say to him, but he can say everything. And I don't know if it's because he's used to being one of the best talkers on the mic back when he was here the first damn time. So he doesn't want anyone to eat him up in this round of things. But like, brother, you be gunning for folks' dead relatives. You gunning for folks' kids. You gunning for folks' bodies. Like, you straight talking mad cash shit, bro. And can't no one say anything back to you. Like,
they just need to say it.
Like, it kind of blows my mind. It blows my mind.
If they say it, he's gonna hit them for real.
Well, then let him get
it. Hold on. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying he's gonna, and then because y'all know CM Punk can do no wrong, he's gonna hit them for real, and then his fans are gonna say, "Well, they shouldn't have said that about his dog. How would you feel?" Like he ain't been coming at folks' kids and dead daddies and all of that. All 2020. Yeah.
He said that he could slap Randy Orton's mom. Mind you, Randy's mom is dead.
He's dead,
and you know he didn't run that by Randy. He didn't tell Randy he was.
Yeah, but imagine Randy Randy needs to go voices in his head on him one day and not running like.
I think it's coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody needs to go off on him. Although I'm not gonna lie to you, it could be really good acting on Kevin's part, but I got a zoom in of his face after he like went and he was pissed off. Like you could see he was like in. I don't know if that. Like, I don't even know if the cameras caught it, but I think the comment about his obviously rubbed him the wrong way. Like, the parts of what Punk said, I think rubbed him the wrong way. And you could tell he was, like, getting, like, pissed. Like, he was doing this, like, head thing. And I was like, oh, shit. Like,
I truly do feel like I think that there is a limit to there's an expectation of Punk, right? Because we know he was one of the best talkers of the 2010s, coming into the WWE, when he would go up against Vince McMahon, when he would go up against Stephanie, when he would go up against Triple H. Like, he has a lot of fantastic promos from back in the day, and we know that he's great on the mic, and we're always looking for him nowadays to make a pipe bomb. And so when it comes to him standing across the ring from certain people, you automatically assume, okay, these are some of the best talkers that we have in the company right now. I can't wait to see them go up against CM Punk, because when CM Punk decides he wants to hit below the belt, I just know for a fact that this person is going to hit below the belt also. When Roman's petty ass, because Roman messy as hell, you see the way he called LA Knight a bum, right?
Walmart watch.
like Roman is a very petty individual, right?
Yes.
And the fact that he stood across the ring from CM Punk and let CM Punk talk crazy about the family, call him all type of young boys. I'm telling you, like, by the fifth young boy, it started to feel like a slur. So I'm like, what?
I'm sorry. Me and Aisha have had this conversation because of things in history. It's nothing against him himself. I completely understand. I don't like when boy is used towards minorities. Period.
Yeah,
I think that should be a fact, though, that people shouldn't do that.
It would be different if you're just calling him a young man.
But you're not. They're not.
But it's the tone, young boy. Like, I don't know. It's just it makes me cringe. I didn't like it. That's it.
I'm going to be I'm very curious as to how he would handle standing across the ring from Trick Williams or from Oba Femi, because Oba, they did mention on Monday that Oba does not have to choose Roman Reigns. He can either choose CM Punk or Roman Reigns now to face, and this is at any time. So they've kind of like made it a somewhat of a money in the bank type of situation, despite it not being money in the bank. And it does make me wonder if they're going to, like, they should probably continue doing the men's money in the bank, but like, how would that look on paper with everything that's kind of going on right now? Because you have Oba, who has the possibility of choosing either Punk or Roman, but you also have Money in the Bank coming up, and you have all of these storylines that are already starting to like have moving parts pop up as well. I think
Oba's gonna win the Rumble, though. I think they're gonna have him win the Rumble.
So
that gives him two different shots. Then
it doesn't just like null the first one. He still has that.
To Aisha's question, I would say it's two different. It's different simply because Money in the Bank, and while Obas can happen anytime, Money in the Bank is a more of a cash-in situation for the most part, right? Like, they'll come out mid-match, end of the match, whenever they feel like the opponent is at his weakest. Whereas I see Obas as more of like a storyline type of thing, where he's gonna step to them and say, "Hey, I want your title. I'm the number one contender." And then there's the story. And I mean, you could have someone cash in during that, but
they're gonna fail.
They're gonna fail. Yes. It makes me curious, though, because that brings me the question of, like, there's no way in hell you're going to let CM Punk beat Oba Femi.
No.
Ain't no, you see my point? So
they're holding off on Oba and Roman, I think.
But that's my point. So if you let Oba win CM Punk's title,
which will be the best bet for him and the easiest bet, honestly, truly.
How do we then, are we planning to at any point circle back to Roman and Oba later? Because then it just kind of feels like the
crown jewel. It's just,
you know what?
It's the safest way. It's the safest way.
Oh. Actually, I buy in. Into
they could run it back a second time,
because
like,
I'm okay with Oba pinning Roman at Crown Jewel.
Because he doesn't lose his title. We still got our
title, and Roman he's gonna put Oba over in the most spectacular way, because that match is gonna be 5-star, just like damn near every match that man has had this year. We are on a run. I'm so sorry. Punk, you're welcome. Seth Rollins, you're welcome. Even though, you know,
What
Seth did
can
his
I
part. I love that.
say,
But
except
Jacob
you're
Fatu,
welcome.
you're welcome. And soon to be LA Knight,
Oh,
you're
please.
welcome.
Times
If
two,
anybody
bruh.
tells you that they're the main event, they're lying.
They're lying. Okay, enough of the glazed up.
Hey, no,
I just
because
had to.
hey,
I have to be honest though, because Roman is on such a fantastic streak with this reign. Like, all of the matches have been so good. I mentioned before again to Aisha that, like, his worst match this year has been the tribal combat match, but that's because they were both injured.
yeah,
And
were
they
both
both
falling off the
still
bone.
they were hurt and they both still pushed through. So, like, we got a good match, but it wasn't, I think, where it would have been if they were both 100%. So to
Exactly.
call that your worst match because both you and your opponent are suffering an injury, I think shows like the level this reign is on. It's why
Also-
everybody keeps
No interferences.
Also, who else has somebody wanting to fight them from AAA? Who else has a whole tournament going on?
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I'll look.
Hey, Rey Mysterio stepped to our tribal chief. That man said, "You know, I'm the general manager
Not the
of
best in the world.
AAA." That man said,
Do it
"I know now." Hey, he didn't give a
It just
damn
looked like-
before.
They looked like a bat, like just money talking to each other, like money talking to money. They just looked.
I think we all collectively popped the moment
yeah.
we saw Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns together and then walking off because holy shit, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
That was a very expensive
need
scene.
him to just like, I just need him for like 2 seconds to run down to AAA for me. I get that we probably already know who's gonna win this tournament. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. I just need to see the bloodline walk through the back real quick. I just want to walk through real quick. I want to see how the Usos look at some of these guys down there. Cause like, what's up, y'all? Like, what y'all finna do? What y'all got going on?
I want Los Perros and the bloodline so bad. And that's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I thought was going to happen when they first announced that he was going to be like going down there, and I saw how light his schedule was for September. I was like, is him and the bloodline finna run game back at the, are they finna play tag back and forth with each other throughout September leading up to this Mexico City show? Because I wouldn't mind seeing a 8-man tag match, bloodline versus Los Perros in an elimination tag match. I wouldn't mind seeing that. See who's the better faction. We already know who is the better faction, but hey, I would have been here for it. I would have been here for it. Now, I know they have Carmen. They have Carmen on their side, so they would probably have her running interference outside of the ring. Naomi would have to be back or at least return during this match. Now, I know a lot of people are like they're very like, can't Naomi just return on her own? Yes, she can, but we can't pretend like she ain't bloodline. She's been claimed by the bloodline. She's bloodline, right? She just she's never seen on television with the whole bloodline. It's always just Jay and Jimmy and Jacob.
She's on that bloodline tree, okay? She's on it. She's on that damn tree. Yeah, she's bloodline.
You can't deny that she is the first lady. I mean, and so she's first lady of the bloodline. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what about Nia Jax? And what about Tamina?
First lady of the bloodline.
No.
They're like, their bloodline, they're just like kind of like, they're like not directly like first cousins with Roman.
Well,
like,
yeah. Well, I would say
like,
Nia is, because Nia's an Anoa'i, whereas the rest of the folks are Fatu.
Fatu's, yeah.
Nia's mom is
the Rocks.
Times with what is she? The Rocks?
The Rock's
yeah, I know. I was gonna say
son.
The Rock and Nia's mom. Like, Nia's mom is with the Rock's mom quite often.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Yeah. So, like, whenever you see, like, usually you'll see the Rock's mom. If you notice, there's another lady next to her all the time. Like, that's Nia's mom. So if you're gonna call nepotism on anybody,
No, I had
but
to
I
pull it up
still,
because
I
I don't
still
know.
wouldn't call Nia nepotism. Honestly, she
Yeah.
don't really benefit. From me.
Yeah.
Not
So
often,
she's
no.
related up, like she's at the first part of the tree.
Yeah.
So like, well, you can't see from here,
You
but
ain't even
yeah.
in the
No,
camera.
bro.
It's okay
No,
though.
we.
It's okay.
Oh, you determined. That's real.
Oh, I'm too blind for this.
I
So
can't
she
read that.
is in the second row, like
okay.
Getting closer. Yeah. Not
It's
real
okay.
shit.
We got it. I got you.
I don't know. There's too many people in this bloodline. I had to
That's
look.
family. It's okay.
Too many fucking
what?
people.
You know what? A for effort.
Yeah.
A for effort.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just.
And Rikishi and his 800 kids. Goddamn, Rikishi getting busy. My God, there's so many fucking.
He got
cartoons on here.
9.
Yeah.
He just got
I
9.
have 9.
I'm not gonna give up hope just yet, though, for Roman going down and the bloodline going to AAA.
Well, where's Dylan Fontaine gonna come in?
We're not talking about
NXT.
that, Haley. I will say,
Hell.
because Roman does have a very light schedule in September. And he really doesn't start coming back around till towards the end of September when he starts building with LA Knight for Money in the Bank. I just feel like, seeing as how he's been called out anyway down in AAA, we might as well let him run down there and see what folks got to say. See if they can get to his face.
Well,
my
Don
good friend
got that
Omos
title.
had a lot to say. Omos
from
had
one
a
giant
lot
to
to
another.
say.
Oh, that would be sick.
I would just love to see that stare down, like,
Yeah.
because this is not the WWE version of him. This is a real version of him. Give it to me right now.
They both, like, Omos basically did a money spread in his video, because he was like, yeah, he had an Audemars Piguet, and he was like, hey, but his hand isn't worthy of winding that clock or something like that. I was like, oh, you talk about you said Tribal Chief, he ain't worthy of winding that Audemars. I was like, wait a minute, like his
Gotta
hand.
insert that meme. What are you prepared to do?
But I do have to say this, and I know there's a reason for this. I am a bit bummed that Dominic Mysterio is not in the tournament. I'm also kind of bummed that Grande Americano isn't as well. But from my understanding, El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio have a match coming up soon.
Yes.
And so they wouldn't want either one of them losing to Roman Reigns before that match happens, which is interesting to say the least.
All I know is he turned on El Grande. Well, I guess with his faction with Omos
the idea is that I believe it's going to be at Triple Mania more than likely that we'll get El Grande Americano versus Dominic Mysterio for the AAA Mega Championship. That's the idea, and so with both of them being as over as they are out there. I guess they just don't want to see either of them pinned or losing any of that steam, any of that fight, any of that quote unquote strength that they have going into this match. I don't know if I necessarily consider a loss to Roman Reigns something to be embarrassed by or something that kills momentum or makes you not look as strong, because like it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But I guess I would have really just enjoyed Dom. I do think that's a very big missing part to me.
They're not booking him like, and I guess I don't know what it is, but I feel like when he cuts promos in Spanish, like I wish they would let him do that more on Raw. Like, and I know that like we have like Dragon Lee and other people who are fluent in Spanish or that's their first language, but I feel like it just makes him more gritty in a way, and it makes him look tougher, and it also adds like a layer on. I don't know how to explain it, but they need to break up the Judgment Day. Like, first of all, I mean, I know we've been saying that the Judgment Day needs to go. That needs to be a thing. And if they're not gonna break up Liv Dom, which is fine, and this is nothing against Liv.
Actually, it's not.
Well, they need to stop only booking them around each other. Like, let them do stuff without, like, because she just showed up on AAA last night, and like I get it because he was getting interviewed by El Grande Americano's girlfriend, so like I do understand it like in that way, but I really hope that this doesn't turn into like there could be Liv Dom, but there should also be Dom and Liv, and I feel like that there is a Liv without Dom, but there is like they don't book Dom without Liv in some.
To be honest, I would say it's both. They don't really book Liv without
Well, yeah.
Dom because like, and as much as I love Becky, don't get me wrong, but like look at the promos against Liv.
Yeah, that promo
Dom
was
is involved.
so good. Yeah.
I mean, hey, Becky ate her up,
Yeah.
okay? However,
Aww,
you still have involvement on Dominic Mysterio. Liv's whole thing is still me and Daddy Dom. So they've intertwined their characters, I think, far too much.
Mm-hmm.
We need to just pull some of those strings loose a little bit. Because honestly, I really don't hate Dom and Liv together. I really don't.
No.
It's not something that bothers me. I think honestly they make a great team. It's kind of, if we're calling Austin Theory and Maxine like the grown-up relationship, I'm gonna consider Dom and Liv like that high school relationship where you're with the bad boy or the bad girl and everybody is against you and you just want to ride or die with your man. That's how I see Liv and Dom more so. But it's gotten to a point where it does not help either of their characters. It does not allow them any additional freedom. We're just sitting here where if you bring up Liv or if you're talking to Liv, Dom's going to come up within the next 3 minutes. And if you're talking to Dom, either Liv is going to show up or Liv's going to be brought up. And so they're just too entwined.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, like, I got on X the other day and I saw Stephanie and Liv arguing, and for some reason Dom was the topic of conversation, and I was like, y'all, if this is what we finna get again, I do not want this. I really don't. I'm not interested. And you know, a bunch of Liv fans were just like, they're just arguing about anything. It's just not. It's not Dom that they're arguing about. He's not the topic of discussion. He's not the prize. I was like, well, okay, I understand he's not the prize, but like, why does he have to come up in every fucking conversation?
And God forbid you say anything. God forbid you mention that on social media. They just come after you like wild hyenas.
And that's what kind of upsets me, and this is what I was talking about in the last episode. I miss the old version of Liv Morgan before she got intertwined with the Judgment Day, because it feels like she lost a lot of her identity when she joined the Judgment Day. Because now it's very much so, Daddy Dominic, my beloved Dominic, just Dominic, Dom. And I'm like,
we're
girl,
both champions.
And we're the greatest of all time. And I'm like, girl.
I love that, though.
Please.
I actually love that. I'm so sorry. She be hitting that
shit. She be
getting under our skin with it on purpose.
It's definitely gotten to a point, though, because I'm like, this is when I realized that she's a really loud person. Like, she is incredibly loud. She wants you to hear her.
Yes.
And I'm like, my God. But I'm all for building feuds for her championship as long as Dominic Mysterio isn't the topic of discussion. Like, I just hate that Dominic, like, why does a man have to be there? And like, people are getting there? Like, and people were getting mad at me because I wasn't interested in it. Girl, what makes you think I wanna hear anything about a man when I see two badass women, very dominant women, 2 former world champions, 3 former world champions, trying to sell us on a possible feud? What the fuck does Dominic have to do with this?
Don't.
Right? Like, I saw that Gaga was the head of Polaroid. What the hell does she know about cameras? I like Gaga. What the hell does she know about cameras, right? And that's the same thing with Dominic Mysterio. I enjoy Dominic Mysterio, but what the fuck does he got to do with Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, and Becky Lynch? Not shit. Why are we talking about them folks? Please. Like, please. Like, everyone.
It gets to a point, and I still appreciate Becky, sending the final shot, the kill shot, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I just would rather we not focus the entire feud around Liv Morgan's romantic relationship.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Because we got a lot of potential there with those 3. A lot. And if I have to hear Dominic's name every single time the three of them are in the ring, I might just lose my mind.
I understand this low hanging. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I just feel bad that he's now like going on record to say that he's unhappy with his booking, and that like the Undertaker has gone on record to say that he's now kind of, I mean, he's been booking him more properly in AAA, but like has now apparently speaking up as well, saying that he's not being booked properly on Raw. And I hate to bring up my beloved Danhausen, but that feud should have never happened, because that literally did nothing but like, it's just not, there were so many other people that could have had that match. Like, I just feel like the character that Dom is, and holding like the biggest championship in AAA, if they're trying to have him look like this, he or whatever they're trying to, you know, match him storyline wise and character wise, like I don't think 10 mini Danhausens coming out to tackle him was like the way to get that done. I don't know.
I mean, so here's the thing. Because I've seen this argument, and my whole thing has been all of a sudden everybody is anti Danhausen.
I'm not anti Danhausen.
Not that I'm saying you are. I'm just saying like in general. Yeah. However, everyone is saying like, oh, he can be booked like this. He can be booked like this. And I need us to start taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. With the mid-card title, right? With that Intercontinental Championship, you have Penta, Dragon Lee, Dominic Mysterio, Javon Evans, Rusev, Chad Gable. Technically, it should be somebody, but I won't say that name. You know, Braun. I said Braun Break already. LA Knight could be there if they wanted him to. Then you go to the main event picture, and you still have some of those guys that go up there. Joe Hendry also. There's a lot of people on all of these rosters right now. There's a lot. Everybody can't fight for the title at one time. For sure. You know, and so it's like, okay, so what do we do to still keep him in the limelight? What do we do to still keep him relevant? Because would the fans be happy if Dominic Mysterio got the Intercontinental Championship again? No,
probably not.
No, they want him to have big goal. They want him to step up, and I get that. But right now, if you look at that main event picture, it's full too. But again,
it's
Roman,
incredibly
Seth,
stacked.
LA, Oba, and there's so many people on all of these rosters that the only choice was to put him with somebody else who's equal celebrity of him, and that is Danhausen. And I know that's not what you want to hear.
No, I mean, that makes sense. I think
it's again, not you. That's more of a general.
I think it's maybe like so many, like, do we have to do the mini Hausens every, I don't know, like it, because Danhausen can also wrestle, and I feel like they don't really let him do that either, because they're just so focused on like all his like silly, I don't know. Like, I just would have liked to see maybe in the match a little less like mini Hausen and a little more wrestling. I can't believe I'm saying that. I sound like a real graps person, but like maybe I don't like the way
Danhausen is a comedy act, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, like, I guess it's just
he's the entertainment portion of the show.
That's real.
And I get all sides. I understand, because it's like to see Dom in something more serious, but like we also just have to say, like, would you have rather he be left off the card altogether? And somebody's gonna say to this, like, oh well, I would have rather he be doing this or doing that, but like Roman had Seth already, Punk had Cody already, which shouldn't be, but you know, whatever. Penta, Chad Gable won instead of Dom. Like I don't. And even if it wasn't Chad Gable, it should have been Javon Evans. And if it wasn't going to be Javon Evans, I still would have put Ethan Page there, honestly. I would have put Rusev there. I would have put Joe Hendry there. I wouldn't think Dom, because Dom has had that title.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't have put him there either. No, I agree with you. Yeah, it's kind of, I feel like it's just like one of those situations where we might just in general be like people who are fans of Dom just a little not happy with, I think it has to do with everything like we've been saying, and it just, for some reason, I think a lot of people were just like, it's because of Danhausen, when meanwhile the problem is standing next to him in a blonde
I
version
feel like
down to his
a lot of people fail to also realize, just going back to something that Clarissa said earlier on in the conversation, there's just way too many big names in the WWE now. There's so many stars. So we might want to see a specific person hold that title, but it just isn't going to happen right now. Logistically, it can't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I understand a lot of people are like, Obafemi, we want Obafemi. Why aren't they putting the title on Obafemi? Respectfully, Obafemi is not bigger than Roman Reigns.
No.
He's getting there because he is the
will
next
be
big
there.
thing. And he
Yes.
will be there. Just a note, because, like, I'm not saying that he won't be there and he's not as, like, and that he won't ever get there, because he most definitely will. He's definitely gaining really quickly. But there's just too many big guys on the show, and so you can't just expect like a Roman Reigns to move to the side. You can't expect a Cody Rhodes to move to the side, even though he probably should learn after the fourth time.
He absolutely should.
But like, you can't expect these people who are now the big guys in the company to move to the side. Like, we said this in the previous episode. I believe I said this in the previous episode. They're just now getting the reins to the WWE. This generation that is the face, the pillars of the company. They're just now getting the reins, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't too long ago. Hell, Triple H still had a major like role within the WWE up until like 2019, 2018, because we had the whole Kingslayer era with
mind you, his last match was in 2021.
Yeah, exactly. So Triple H
I
didn't
thought it was
necessarily.
before then.
No, he didn't really move out the way.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. That was his own. That was his on-air brawl with Randy. Him and Randy got into it, but his last actual televised match was 2019, and then there was another match late that year. So, like, either way, it's only been about 7 years since the guys from the last generation started winding down, and we still got Randy. We can keep Randy.
Yeah, we still have Randy. Randy and Punk are the last two guys.
Yes,
that are just kind of like
the last legend left.
And I suppose you would even say Finn Balor, because he's in the same age bracket as them, but he started in a younger age. Well, he started at a younger age. He started at a later time than the rest of them. Right. But they are the last two of the old guard, right? Mm-hmm. So we can't expect Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins to get out the way to let the new guys hoop, because they still have time left in the company. They still have gas in the tank. They're just now getting the reins of the company. Roman didn't officially become the face of the company until 2020.
Yeah.
When he became the tribal chief. He's only been running this bitch for 6 years now. For 6 years. Right? Like, we could say, yeah, he was being forced down people's throat earlier on, and the WWE knew that they wanted to make him the top guy. If we really thinking about it, bro, the Shield was already chosen. They were handpicked to be the top guys of the company. Yeah, Roman was spearheading that shit, but Seth Rollins was right there, because where is Seth Rollins right now? He was the first one to break.
Which one of them actually got it first?
Seth Rollins. He was the one that broke out from the Shield. He was the first one to win a world title out of everybody. He was put into the Authority and was heavily protected by the Authority.
Yep.
So, we can't sit here and say, oh, well, Roman Reigns was the chosen guy and he got everything handed to him. When Seth Rollins got to the finish line before Roman Reigns did. We didn't accept Roman Reigns in the beginning. We didn't accept Roman Reigns as a possible face of the company because he wasn't Chris Hero. Because Chris Hero was supposed to be there with Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, and Seth Rollins. It was supposed to be him. They moved Chris Hero out the way to put Roman Reigns in that spot because, hey, this looks like it could be something good. And lo and behold, it was something good. We still talking about the Shield many years to come. Many years from now. Several years from now. Well, several years from now.
Check.
Bro.
To use his own words, he was a blank check waiting to be cashed.
Exactly. So my thing is, you can't sit up here and say that a specific person, and also just to kind of to continue piggybacking off of someone being forced down your throat. Roman Reigns can't be forced down your throat if you barely see that man. You
Oh,
barely see him.
I'm not. Hold on. Time out. Because I have to say this because I shocked Aisha the other day. But
you've
like,
been a little full time lately.
I thought you were finna go a different way with that.
LA Knight.
Because you were no. When she said he's being forced down your throat, I thought she was finna say if your mouth ain't open.
No.
I don't think that's PG.
It's not. But guess what?
I know.
Roman has been the topic of conversation for the last 8 days on Twitter.
Because everybody, whoever that idiot is, that's, oh, he's so overrated. And you know what I say to you? Fuck off.
Right.
Like, and you at home eating Cheetos talking about wrestling and wishing that your name was a household name, like, bye. Like,
he does what he's supposed to do. One thing you cannot say that respectfully you can say about some of our older favorites, the John Cena's, the Triple H's, the Randy Ortons, Roman Reigns has never buried anybody.
No.
He has never taken away anything from anyone else. He's never just made the decision to put himself over as opposed to putting someone else over. You have to say that even when these people have lost these matches, they still walked away with you saying, damn, that was a great match. It was never, I don't even think that man has a squash match.
And he doesn't look tired in the ring at all. In fact, he looks better than usual, in my opinion. He is in the best shape of his life.
Baby been in the gym.
Whew.
Baby stays in the gym right now. Like, and I love it. I say all the time, I'm very appreciative of his wife for sharing him with us. Shouts to Miss Unawai. Shouts to Mrs. Unawai.
I think about that a lot. Like, that man has five kids. And she has two sets of twins, 4 boys, like under the age of 11. God bless you, Galena, because absolutely not. I got one that age, and I'm like, oh God, he never stops. 4.
I just appreciate their family being willing to take the sacrifice of, instead of having them at home and having family time at home, you're seeing that the family as a whole is at Fanatics Fest. The family as a whole is at SummerSlam, is at WrestleMania. They're allowing us to have this summer, which I think is why a lot of people are like, oh, is this Roman's last run? No. But I'm appreciative of this extra time that he's putting in, because he does not have to do that if he doesn't want to. If he wants to sit at home and run an actual part-time schedule, he absolutely can. I don't know, man. That's just me, though. I agree.
Yeah. I agree. I just think that it's kind of silly that a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Roman's being forced down their throats, and he's not around. We complain about his part-time schedule and you want him to be around more, but you also complain that he's being shoved down your throat. And then another thing is that a lot of people want to put blame on Roman for the fact that a lot of terrible booking is happening across the show. Mind you, Roman only shows up 15 minutes of the show now. 15 minutes. That means that they got 2 hours and 15 minutes to figure it the fuck out. And for 2 hours and 15 minutes, you do not see Roman Reigns. You might see him for 15 minutes either at the beginning of the show or 15 minutes at the end of the show, or you'll see him at 10 minutes at the beginning of the show and then 5 minutes at the end of the show, or just all together just so he can get the fuck up out of there. He's not taking time from anyone. And you can't say that they're giving all of this time, dedication, and attention to the bloodline, because again, the bloodline has full creative control over their storytelling and over their booking. Creative does not do jack shit at all when it comes to the bloodline. It's them doing their own thing. So we can't try to put blame on Roman and the WWE for trying to put time and attention and space and opportunity into the bloodline and trying to invest in them, when the door for investment has been closed and locked and sealed away for nearly 6 years now.
You posted a video today that I think would be like a really good topic of conversation. I think that about the women and how they're like with SmackDown and Raw, because I think that is a part of the problem for a lot of what's been going on.
And you know what? And I'm happy that I posted that video, but one thing that kind of pisses me off is that a lot of people be so quick to try to correct someone on something. Mind you, if I'm posting a video with a hot take, brother, 9 times out of 10, I did my fucking research. I'm not gonna just press record and then start talking about shit. I know a lot of people do that. I mean, sometimes I do that. But at least I got my facts straight before I do, because one thing I don't want to do is look like a fucking dumbass on social media. Y'all not finna eat my ass up. Hello. And so I had someone try to correct me talking about some actually there's only 21 women on the SmackDown roster. They ain't no better, but I went ahead and listed off everybody that was on that SmackDown roster. We had 24 women on SmackDown. We have 13 women over on Raw, and only 5 of them aren't active, right? So 13 minus 5 equals 8. So we only have 8 women on the Raw roster, and most of them are all heels. We only have 2 faces on the roster, and that's So Ruka and now Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
The heels aren't going to interact with each other. So they need more people over on Monday nights. And I know people keep wanting to go, oh, well, everyone over there is married. Not everybody over there is married. Jordan Grace can take her ass to Raw. Blake Monroe can take her ass to Raw. Julia can take her ass to Raw. You know? You feel
Tiana
me?
James
I mean, respectfully, hold on, respectfully. I'm sorry, some of them married couples can go too, because I would not be mad at Trick and Lash on Raw.
I wouldn't be mad at seeing Trick Williams standing across the ring from Roman Reigns.
Hear me? I'm glad me the vision. You with me? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, for instance, Lola Vice is about to get pulled up, and we all know she's going to SmackDown because of Damien. Put Damien ass back on Raw where he deserved to be. He should
put him back on Raw where he should be.
I just feel I don't understand the imbalance.
I feel like
there's a large one.
I feel like Raw is the grittier show, and so Lola definitely fits the Raw aesthetic more than SmackDown.
Her and Ivy Nile could eat in that ring together.
Yeah, and especially in an underground match. Because imagine Lola bringing the underground matches to the main roster, which is something that I'm hoping that she is actually able to do. I hope they allow her to bring the underground matches to the main roster, but if not, oh well. I just really hope that they do, because that's a match that a lot of people who don't really tune into NXT, they haven't seen, and it's something fresh, it's something new. And she just got done putting on a fantastic ass underground match with Kendall Gray. Like, if you want some more,
so good too.
If you want to see some more aggression come from the women, you want to see some more, you want to see some more rough fighting, I suppose. You want to see rougher fighting. It's an underground match. You're gonna love it. It.
So good.
And they might end up bleeding, because Kendall was leaking out her damn ear, bro.
Oh my god, I screamed when that happened. I was like, oh god.
And she kept going. I blinked a few times. And then I came back and she had that damn bandage wrapped around her head, like how a cartoon character would. And I was like, what the hell happened here? They played the replay back. Yeah, that girl got her ear cut up real bad on that damn steel step. I said, ooh, unfortunate. But yeah, I feel like Lola would have definitely fit. Tatum would have too. And I know that Charlotte asked for her, but I wish that she didn't.
Yeah, I get the Alexa Bliss, in her head, and I understand that part of it, but I also feel like the way Tatum wrestles, I feel like Tatum and Liv would be good together. I think Tatum and Roxanne would be good together. I'm sure Tatum and Soul have had matches in the past. I can't really remember, to be honest with you, because it's been a while, but I also agree. I think Tatum should have went to Raw, but they need to switch it around. I think Tiffy should be on Raw, but she has the United States title, so she's not going nowhere until she doesn't have that title anymore.
I do think that they can start, like, if they're going to silently move the guys around, because they be quiet. They're doing a quiet draft now. They're just drafting the guys very quietly. You'll randomly be watching SmackDown, all of a sudden someone's backstage talking to Nick Aldis from Raw, and you're like, why the fuck are you over here? Oh, it's because they finna move over here. I'm still kind of confused as to why Chad Gable didn't go over there when he was on SmackDown, because he came back from AAA, and his first stop was an interview on SmackDown with Nick Aldis, and so, or Adam Pearce, I suppose, because I think Nick was kind of like in and out at that moment. Maybe, I can't remember. I think Nick was still there. But he had an interview with him, and I was like, okay, so he's about to step onto the SmackDown scene. Are we gonna see him in the main title picture, or is he gonna go after the United States Championship, which I think would be a good fit for him? But that was not the case. They kept him on Raw, and now he has the Intercontinental Championship, and I'm not against it. Congratulations to Chad.
United States title fits him better.
It does fit him better, and I'm also just kind of really bummed because Javon Evans was on a chase to that Intercontinental Championship, and I know everyone's tired of people talking about Javon Evans being an Intercontinental Championship picture, but to me, he was right there, and he just keeps getting pushed to the side. He's been
right there.
He's been right there for a while now, and so, it's a bit of a bummer to not see him be able to, like, grab that title and actually, hold it, I suppose. So yeah, he definitely does, but I don't know. We'll see, because I'm trying to figure out what they're planning on doing with Chad Gable now that he is the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, his first match as Intercontinental Champion was a tag match with Penta.
Yeah. That was a good match, and I was like, all right. I think it's a match. But it's crazy because they're over here playing hot potato with Gunther and Sammy. They move brands every 3 months, but they can't move the women around. Like, how many times has Gunther and Sammy moved in the last year and a half? I feel like they're constantly moving them around.
Gunther has never been on SmackDown. He's always been on Raw from when he first got there, because when he first stepped on the scene on Raw, that damn Intercontinental Championship materialized in his fucking hand.
Right. Why did I think Gunther was on SmackDown?
Sammy was on SmackDown in the beginning, and that was back in like 2020. Yeah, 2023, at the beginning of 2023, and then when he left the Bloodline, him and everybody else at the Bloodline was just beating the fuck up for the last 3 years. Jumped ship to Raw. It was their refugee over there. It was their refuge. And so Sammy went to Raw, but now Sammy's back on SmackDown. I don't know. It's very interesting. I do think that they should definitely consider moving some of those women over. I'm hoping that they eventually realize that they have too many women on SmackDown and try to move them over. Some people tend to say, oh, well, the only reason why there's so many women over on SmackDown is because they're the bigger show. They're the bigger show by 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. And even then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, not for nothing, we have flexible time with Raw.
Yeah.
We can go 2 hours, we can go 3 hours. Hell, we can go 3.5 hours if we're really feeling it. Mm-hmm. So if anyone should have the heavier roster of the two shows, it absolutely should be Raw.
Yeah. And they just don't ever really consider it. And I definitely think that they should probably start considering that, that they need more women on Raw. I do think that's something that definitely needs to happen. And I don't know when they're going to do that, or if they want to even consider doing that. But I'm hoping they actually, like, sit down at some point and realize how absolutely stacked the SmackDown roster is. And yes, a good thing that they have a stacked roster, but it's also a bad thing because there were people before they switched to 2 hours, there were people that weren't being used. For example, Jordan Grace was not being used in that 3 hour split. Julia was a two-time United States champion, and she was not being utilized in that 3-hour split. Kiana James was also another person who was not being utilized in that 3 hours. Candice LeRae was another person who was not being used in that 3 hours. Hell, if anything, they should just move Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae to Monday Night Raw so Johnny Gargano can stop all this fucking planking, shave, take a shower, cut his hair.
He can lay down too if he really don't feel like getting up. I mean, it's very easy to move him around. Just push it.
Like,
I still don't understand the planking thing. Like, I don't. This has been.
He's mad about.
I get it, but like, get the fuck up. I'm so tired of seeing him laying there, and apparently, like, and Candice just standing there. Like, Candice is a damn good wrestler. Can she get in the ring?
Candice got jumped by Blake Monroe 2 weeks ago, and I was so confused as to why Candice got jumped, because it's not like Candice was doing anything to Blake. Blake just did it because, hey, that's the closest she was going to get to a fight, bro.
It is criminal that they haven't debuted Blake yet either. I'm sorry. What are we doing?
They had her run up on Julia on a double taping in London, and then that was it.
The problem is that they made that dumbass decision to do an interim championship.
Yeah.
And that made us lose 3 matches. They wiped out 3 matches to get 1 when you still could have ran Tiffany versus Blake. You still could have ran Jay versus Charlotte and just put 3 other women in their spots when I think it was very clear. All of us knew that it was more than likely going to Chelsea. You could have put Jordan, Julia, and Kiana or Nia or something like that in that match instead, and it still would have been fine.
Meanwhile, Rhea's gonna be out till, like, I think Royal Rumble now. Like, she's not. Like,
Chelsea's probably gonna be out for a minute too.
Yeah,
68 weeks, I think they said for that.
We're fucked, dog. We are fucked.
Yeah, I hate that they invested in Chelsea, and then she turned around and got injured. And I mean, it's not her fault at all that she got injured. It's just kind of like they decided to finally pull the trigger on her, and it was not because they wanted to see whether or not she can go. It was just more so because they felt like she was the easiest person to take the title off of in the event that Rhea did return, right? Because Rhea didn't announce that she wasn't coming back until after that match happened. Right. Yeah. And so, because everyone went into this like, oh, okay, well, if Chelsea's gonna, like, everyone went into this saying, oh, well, Chelsea should win it because she'll be an interim, she won't have it too long, and that was everyone's reason for that. I was leading with the notion that I wouldn't mind that either Charlotte or Jade had it, because they would be able to hold that title scene down with no issue whatsoever until Rhea came back, and then give Rhea a run for her money when she did return for that title. They had Chelsea get pinned in her first match as the WWE Women's Champion.
It's about Fallon, and that's no disrespect to Fallon, but if anybody should have been pinning Chelsea, if you were really going to do that, which it was dumb anyway. First of all, Tiffany should have been pinned.
Oh well,
it should have been JC.
JC was. It's not. It
she wasn't in the match,
JC
but it should have. Because if anybody in Fatal Influence is going to get singles gold right now, it's going to be JC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so disrespectful to Chelsea. Like, I was pissed for her. I don't know. And I know Chelsea probably wasn't pissed because she's okay with doing whatever it takes to move the story forward. But, like, that is your brand new women's champion who is wearing a shirt with interim crossed off and permanent over it right after you have a celebration for her, and you have her pinned on her very first showing.
Yeah.
Y'all don't like what?
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I feel bad for her, especially because you could tell from her video that this injury is messing with her. Because usually when, Chelsea's injured, she's like, nope, it's fine. It's okay. Like, mind you, she got a cast on, and she's like, nope, it's okay. We're going to keep going. And you could really see, like, she's more, like, soft-spoken, very monotone. She doesn't really have the energy. And it's probably really hurting her feelings, because there must have been a discussion of, before she was injured, of how are we going to do this title reign? Okay, let's just move it away from interim and we'll figure out when we're gonna have Chelsea drop it to, oh shit, we may just have to relinquish the title anyway.
Now
I think she broke her nose like a bunch of times, and I think I think that was it. That's another reason why she might have to like not wrestle, because her orbital bone is next to her bone. So like if she does anything else to that and it affects her nose, she needs like surgery on her nose because she broke it so many times.
Right. Right.
So that could be another reason why, like, I know, like, Rhea wore that mask. I don't know if Chelsea can wear that mask, like, with the severity of how many times she has broken her nose.
Probably not.
Yeah, I do believe from the video that Chelsea posted, she did say that she has had an orbital fracture before, but this time it feels different, and she does not know what the future is going to hold for her as champion. And there was just a bunch of uncertainty and a bit of sadness in her voice when talking about her injury. And so recovery time for an orbital bone fracture in the same manner as it was for Rhea. Rhea was gone for like a month and a half the last time she had gotten that fracture. She was gone, and then she kind of had no choice but to come back because of the whole War Games build, and they couldn't really jeopardize that War Games build because that was already set in stone. So they had her come back with that face mask. And they could probably do the same thing for her, but who knows? I mean, same thing with Cody. Cody had the orbital bone fracture as well at WrestleMania. And when he had that fracture, he was gone for maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks. And then
somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, and then he ended up popping back in afterwards.
I don't think he wrestled soon when he came back either.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I feel like they took their time getting him back into another match, which was probably because he was still healing.
Yeah, he also kept he didn't wear a face mask either. So he didn't really have many run-ins with anyone until he was medically cleared to be able to wrestle again.
Right.
But they did think that he was going to have to lose an eye after that whole situation happened, because I do think he said that in an interview where he was like, they thought I might end up losing this eye, but luckily I didn't have to. So like there's that, you run that risk of possibly with an orbital bone fracture, you run the risk of possibly losing your eye. So it's not something that you can take lightly at all. So I understand people going, oh, well, maybe she could put that face mask on. But like Haley said, she's broken her nose plenty of times. And she could run the fact of like losing her eye, and nobody wants to lose their eye, especially a wrestler. I feel like that's kind of like a sentence for a professional wrestler, because at that point you kind of lose
you're
part of
done.
your senses.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was season 2, but I could be wrong. It may have been season 1. But when she did the last time she got her nose broken, she specifically mentioned in the show, I can't get my nose broken again, or I'm going to have surgery, because she's been just letting it heal on its own. And so again, like Haley said, like it's just right in here. That's so close that there's more than likely more than just that orbital bone that's the issue. I again, I really, really hate this for Chelsea, because I was really interested to see what they would decide to do with her having the title.
Agreed.
And I just hate the timing of that for her, because I don't know, man. We may be right back where we started before SummerSlam. And of course, the championship is not the biggest problem in the world. We all know that. Before somebody tries to act like we don't care about these people's health, I absolutely want Chelsea and Rhea themselves to be 1000% okay physically. If they never can get back in the ring, and that's the cost of them being okay physically, I'm okay with that. Yeah. I suck that shit up with Triple H all the time. I never got to see Triple H wrestle, but his health is at risk. Him being there for his children is at risk. Absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah,
but I feel like, what do we do next? Where do we go from here?
I feel like the unfortunate thing about this is the show must go on
It does.
always. Like,
It does.
you know, when you're in marching band, if you trip and fall, you know, they gotta keep marching, bro. They gotta keep marching until the end of the field show. They can't just stop the field show because someone trip and fail. You drop your flag, you gotta keep, you know, they gotta keep going. You better hurry up and get back in the mix. But like when it comes to injuries and stuff like that, the only thing, the best case scenario when it comes to injuries is to always have a backup plan just in case one falls through. You have to have a safety net. And then the safety net also has to have a safety net, right? So I feel like it's incredibly important to remember that things happen and a lot of things are out of our control, and the best way to like continue after something like this happens, an injury or any type of life changing or life altering situation, is to find the best route in order for you to be able to pivot. um and I think that's incredibly important. I think the WWE, which is why they took so long with announcing how serious Rhea's injury was that they had to pivot. They took away 3 major matches that had nothing to do with Rhea, because because Rhea was injured, right? And so now with Chelsea Green, I don't really think that they had many things built for Chelsea Green, considering that she got pinned on Friday night. So I don't think it'll be too hard for them to pivot. I mean, 9 times out of 10, what they'll end up doing is looking at the next best plan of action, which will probably be Charlotte and Jade.
Unless they go with the one they were already planning, which is Naya.
Why do they?
Don't forget that was a thing.
Oh yeah,
That is.
I mean, I'm just saying it unfortunately happened.
Why
do they keep putting them in tag title matches though? The champs, like, why is that? Like, I guess my question is, was there a need for that, or could they have just had like Chelsea? I mean, yeah, could they have Tiffy have a match with someone? Like, why?
The problem is you have 2 trios on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then they obviously only want to push one person in the Lash and Nia team at a time. So if Jade and B-Fab and Michin are already busy with Charlotte, Alexa, and now Tatum, the only thing that was left was Fatal Influence, which I still think we could have did something else. We could have did something else. There was no reason for her and Tiffany to be in a tag match.
I was confused why it was happening. I was just like, oh, okay.
I do think that might be why they sent Nia out there, because you like in Unreal, the referees do have headsets, they have mics in. So when Chelsea said something about her possibly being injured to one of the referees, they probably was like, hey, get Nia out there. Let's have Nia, had Nia attack her, just to kind of make it seem like, oh, okay, so she really got pummeled. Because I know a lot of people were confused as to why Nia was out there. Shit, I was like, hey, when they came out there, I was like, Lash, pick up that U.S. title, bro.
I was happy
pick up that U.S. title, Lash. Pick up that U.S. title. But no, she passed that damn title over to Nia. And I was like, you finna pick up a title for yourself, girl? You don't want nothing for yourself? There was 2 titles right there.
We could have both picked up one, but no, we got her standing there like she damn Vanna White on Wheel of Fortune.
I mean, I want to see Lash and Jade have a match. I don't know about you. They need to have like if they're gonna take it off Chelsea, they need to have like some type of best contender matches. I want to see Jade and Lash.
I mean, at this point,
we cool.
At this point though,
we cool.
At this point, you might as well. I hate to say it because I mean, I'm not a
Naomi, come back and save us.
At this point, you may as well put it on one of the 2 women who's absolutely leading SmackDown, and that's either Jade Cargill or Charlotte Flair. Those are the only 2 women that are absolutely prominently featured every single week. they have the biggest feud. They have really the only true feud on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Is that Jade and Charlotte can't stand each other, and now they're bringing their friends in because we're probably getting Team Charlotte versus Team Jade at War Games. Cool, but if that's the case, that means for the first time a champion is not leading us into War Games. Put the title on one of them.
Yeah.
Put the title on one of them, call it a day, and we can start back over whenever we get to that point. But like, ain't no point in us just. I don't know what.
Well, especially if they're not trying to put like the title back on anybody. If they want Rhea to go into Mania this upcoming year with that title on, I don't know what they want to do. Obviously, what their plan is, but I feel like it needs to be, like you said, on either Charlotte or Jade leading up to whenever they do that. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing like them have a couple matches for it, but I feel like we might as well put it on Charlotte because I don't see Charlotte winning another Rumble or like Elimination Chamber in the future just because I mean, she could, but I don't see it happening again.
I mean, and the thing is Rhea was already feuding with Jade beforehand, and her and Charlotte, while they were friends, it was a very loose friendship. They were really just, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. It would make sense for Rhea to come back and feud with either of them without a Rumble or a chamber or a Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, she could literally just walk right up to them and be like, "You got what's mine," and nobody would blink because you were already feuding with Jade. Oh, you put me on the shelf. You took me out.
Make it a triple threat.
I mean, yes, but yeah, I don't know where we go from here, guys.
I don't know.
I'm concerned.
I am too, and I feel bad. You could tell, like you said, I've never seen Chelsea out of character upset like that before, and I was like,
I mean, I wish her a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. And I hope she's okay mentally, because I'm sure it's taking a toll on her that this one thing that she's been working her ass off to get them to give her for this long, she finally gets it, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whatever they originally were planning. She finally gets that opportunity, and it could possibly be taken away from her that quickly. So like,
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy because she was like, "Shout out Michael Hayes," and then went and found that man picture. And got a picture with him right after, and then
everybody was waiting for Michael Hayes to do something. He didn't even have to do anything. He didn't even do it.
As you guys know, SummerSlam did take place last week on the first weekend of August. There was night 1 and night 2. Now, there were some people who felt that night 1 kind of lacked a little bit, which is the same argument that I feel like a lot of people had during WrestleMania night 1 as well. Night 2 definitely delivered for me.
Yes.
Now, I do have my gripes on specific things on night 1. One of which was AI, artificial intelligence. It did not happen, bro. It didn't happen.
Okay, so if that match were to have happened, and how do you feel about the way that match ended in AI?
If that match was to happen,
yeah. See, it was AI. So how do you feel about the AI ending of the Usos and Jake versus LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo, where in AI, Jay Uso was pinned by LA Knight.
Well, I would have to say I don't have any feelings regarding it because it wasn't real. It was just a figment of our imagination. It was AI, yeah. So in my head, it just doesn't count. And so I don't really consider it a loss for us because it was artificial intelligence. It never happened. It was just a simulation, more of a what if type of scenario. What if the Usos lost? What if Jey Uso was pinned by liquidation assets? Like, what happened if what would have happened, right? And we got to see that play out. And honestly, I feel like it just wasn't a good idea. And so I'm happy that they considered scrapping it and just allowing a simulation to play out. That way we could see what would have possibly happened if Jey Uso got pinned by that man. But he did not get pinned by that man. So
I need a board of all the names that he's being called. Liquidation
Hey,
assets.
I actually said I was gonna start keeping a list. I will say though, one thing to support Aisha's AI claim, the Usos and Jacob worked quite well together in that match. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that the three of them, who obviously, well, would two of the three can't stand each other. I mean, they were just tagging in, they were hyping each other up. They were just, a well-oiled machine. And so I
It's
think
that
that just
bloodline.
gives some. It is the bloodline, but like Aisha said, like that's how you know it couldn't have existed because like
Yeah.
Jacob and Jay can't stand each other. What do you mean that they
Mm-mm.
were just over there hyping each other up, tagging in and out like they do this every day? I'm just
The only one
gonna-
existed in it was Solo, who was just in
I
there,
think my
just happy
favorite-
to be there.
I think my favorite part of the whole simulation was Solo actually adopting Jey Uso mannerisms and
Mhm.
running it back. I thought that was so cool actually. Um he was definitely the MVP of the match for sure. Too bad it didn't happen for real. Maybe when
Obviously.
it does finally happen, we get to see him actually run it back. Maybe even, come out to Roman's music at War Games. I think it
Oh
would
my
be
God.
hilarious for shits and gigs. For shits and gigs, I definitely think he should probably pull up to War Games. Let the Bloodline come out first, and then let Royce Keys and let Lakeside arbitration. Oh my goodness, Lakeside arbitration. Let him come out, and then let Solo hit Roman's music and he pretend like he's Roman Reigns. I think that'll be really cool, So
You want Solo to get picked up by his leg and you want Golden Glove.
he was
Roman
gonna do
to come
that.
out.
He was gonna do that regardless.
You know?
You know.
I get that. So to matches that did happen,
Mm-hmm.
Liv Morgan and Io Sky. Shocked
so
me.
good.
Good match. Just
you
hate
know
the
what?
outcome.
I shouldn't say it shocked me because I think we all expected them to do good. The outcome really did surprise me. Number one, I was very happy to see Judgment Day come out, I would say somewhat early in the match and not come back again.
Yeah.
That because for the most part, that means she did it on her own. But like, is Liv not cursed?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. That's what the real question of the day is. Does Danhausen's curse not work on Liv? Did someone uncurse her? What happened?
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure
Did she
it
hire
out.
an Etsy witch? Like, we need to know.
Probably.
That is the question, bro. That is the question because I've been trying to figure out this whole time because I was watching the show and I was so sure that Io Sky was actually going to win. I feel like a lot of people were so sure being that she, Liv Morgan was cursed by Danhausen. She wasn't just cursed once. She was cursed twice. He called her at the entrance, at the ramp, and cursed her ass the last time. And that was right before her Queen of the Ring match, which she ended up losing. So I feel like it shouldn't be a shock to people to assume that she would have lost this match as well. But she did. She won. She won that match. And I was just so confused. I was very confused. And so I was like, okay, so are we dropping this whole cursed situation? Because if we're doing that, I'm hoping that we're going to be dropping this whole cursed situation with Dominic Mysterio because, it did more harm for Dominic than it did any good to have him in that situation. Which is the match that was on night 2, and we'll get to that. But yeah, I really enjoyed Liv versus Io. I just hate that Io did not win.
Yeah. I will say really quick to Aisha's point, if the curse is gone, can we uncurse Kit Wilson?
Yes.
Actually, can I get him, if we're not gonna let Trick or Mello do it, can I get Kit Wilson to dethrone the United States champion?
Yeah.
I just feel like we had a good thing going with Kit and now he's gone.
We did. I was wondering the same thing. What the hell happened?
I think
whatever.
I think they're free. I think they're free because Miz isn't acting like Frankenstein anymore and Kit isn't either, and we haven't seen them on television at all either. And I think it's so funny because I made that post that ended up going viral where I was talking about how I just thought it was so funny that I just thought it was so interesting that Kit Wilson was getting over with his theme song and people really enjoyed him. And then all of a sudden WWE was like to that damn flame real quick. Just took it out. And then they paired him with Miz, and then both him and Miz got shocked by Danhausen, and they became Frankensteins. And so I just thought it was such an odd thing because now they weren't being seen on television anymore. They were just backstage making silly videos as the Frankenstein people of Danhausen. But now Miz is back to normal because I saw a few content creator videos, and most of the time I feel like Miz tends to stick to the bit. But he was saying, he was basically talking like he was free from Danhausen's like lab, and he was like, yeah, Danhausen electrocuted me and kept me hostage within his laboratory and made me his puppet. You know, he's very aware of what happened to him. So I'm thinking that that is probably done, because if anything it does more harm than it does good to keep them like in this
Well, who's
type
the
of
Mike? Did you see that they trademarked that name, the Mike?
I don't know.
I said, who the hell's the Mike? Who's gonna be the Mike?
Someone said the Miz, and I was like, no, because they
Hell no.
not finna. Why would they call him the Mike the Miz? Like that's so stupid. Let's not. So
That's what I said. I was like, oh,
Hmm.
because he kept tweeting, "I hate Philadelphia," because everyone was like, "Did you get a new name? Is like, did they shock you into a new name? What happened?" It's like, no.
but who my the next match ended up being Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin for the United States Championship. And that match also kind of bummed me out. Not, I would say the loss kind of bummed me out, but also the fact that it was kind of missing a certain someone who should have been in that match. And the fact that Carmelo Hayes was not in that match was actually quite disappointing, because what do you mean Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, we were in the middle of a feud. We were finally getting Trick Mello. Baron Corbin shows up, takes both of them out, and we don't capitalize on the fact that he took out both Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams and disrupted their match, right? He came in, he held up the title, he claimed he wanted the title, and you didn't have Carmelo Hayes even fight for his spot.
Nope.
You just push him out the way and then let him continue on doing what he was doing, which was nothing in catering. Like, are we serious? So I was bummed.
I'm still shocked at the ending though. Like in no realm that I possibly think Trick Williams was not walking out of SummerSlam with that title. If you wanted to shock me with someone losing a title, Trick Williams was not the one to do it with. Because what the hell? And the way he did it is almost like they're setting up for something with Trick and Yachty, and I don't like that either. No, absolutely not. Don't you end my brohood.
You think they're setting something up with Trick and Yachty?
Because in a way, it's almost Yachty's fault.
If Mello gets that title, they could, and then Trick will be like, "It's your fault, Yachty."
I don't want Yachty versus Trick.
I don't think that's coming.
But like, okay, so here's my thing. I'm not even saying it necessarily has to be a match, but it's more of where he's kicking Yachty to the curb, because Yachty got up there, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he was helping Trick because he was getting the title out of Baron Corbin's hands because he was going to use it against him. Trick comes over, hits Baron Corbin, it knocks Yachty off, right? And as Trick is focused on Yachty, as the ref is focused on Yachty, that's when he gets hit with the title. That's how Baron Corbin wins. And so that's why I said my concern is that I don't want it to be like, oh, well, it's Yachty's fault that Trick lost, because no, I enjoy them together. Like, I don't know. I think I just went worst case scenario for me, because I still am concerned on if they will try that or not. Yeah. I don't even understand why, because even when Trick pulled the table out, I was like, why the hell are we setting up a table? When did this become a no DQ match? Because last time I checked, It's just a regular match. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it because it put scary thoughts in my head.
Yeah, nah. It seems like I was kind of irritated myself that he ended up
Mhm.
winning because I was hoping that that wouldn't be the case, but it just seems like that is the trend within the WWE right now. You have an older guy show up after not being around for a decent amount of time, and
Mm.
they come in and they get, yeah, no, I know, bro, it's storming crazy
We're
over
talking
here.
about. Oh no, I'm giggling because I know I feel like
Oh
this is
yeah, bro.
gonna apply to CM Punk too.
It's definitely going to apply to CM Punk, and it's also in a sense going to apply to Kevin Owens as well, because these
Yeah.
are these
To be
are
fair,
men that weren't around, and when they return they are handed title opportunities or even titles. Now, do I think Kevin Owens is going to win his match against Punk
I
on
do.
August 21st? No, he's not. And
Really?
that's just because of Sammy. I Sammy is definitely going to interfere in that, and I can possibly see a triple threat match happening between Sammy, CM Punk, and Kevin at Money in the Bank. And I think
Okay.
that's a really good match. I think that'll be a really good triple threat match. So, and I've kind of been hanging on to that ever
I like
since
that.
Friday night. I think that's what's going to end up happening, and I'm not against it, but yeah, it just seems like everyone else is kind of preoccupied now. They found a way to get Cody away from the title picture by inserting Randy. So him and Randy are more fixated on each other. I don't know when Gunther's gonna return, but I'm sure he'll end up, when he does return, putting his nose back in the championship picture. Finn Balor wasn't really seen on television Friday night either, and I don't know when
He's
he's
in
gonna come back.
Ireland
Yeah.
with but I was like, what happened? Like, it was just interesting that they picked that, like, them to go to Ireland now. I'm assuming there's going to be some type of PLE in Ireland, and that's why him and Becky are over there. But
It was
they're
for a
doing
Zuffa.
they're doing a show in Ireland in January.
okay,
I believe, I can't remember if it's a Raw or not, but they're doing a show that Becky and Finn were announcing on something. They're doing a show next year there,
okay.
but still, damn,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's real spooky over there.
Man.
It was weird though, because like you would think that like Finn didn't obviously really address. We saw Sammy address the loss. Gunther wasn't there, and Nick is back. I don't know. Nick's back in his GM. Like there's just a couple of loose ends from SummerSlam that I would have liked to see tied up. I guess a little bit.
Yeah, that's the next match that happened, at least in my head. Nick Aldis versus Gunther. Um, and luckily it wasn't a career match at all.
Thank
But
God.
Thank God.
I went in with the hopes and expectations of Nick Aldis being able to shut Gunther up and actually win. But of course, that chokehold merchant Gunther won,
That fuck ass
and
sleeper hoe.
him with that fuck ass sleeper hoe, all
Fuck
that
ass
hugging.
sleeper hoe.
Man, he ought
Like
to be called the hugger.
if you wanted to cuddle Mickey James' husband, you probably could have just asked, you know?
Right?
Yeah,
Like, we know he
out
looks
there.
good.
I mean, Nick looked damn good.
He looked better than some of the wrestlers.
Look, here's the thing: Nick always looks good. But like, respectfully, Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah. Every
yeah.
every week Gunther's out there auditioning to be the big spoon, and I'm so over it, bro. I'm so over it. Like
He just want to cuddle.
Looking
like
for my
I
little
get
spoon.
it. He be trying out to be the big spoon every week, and I'm like, man, how many times are you finna audition? We know you big spoon, bro. I'm finna start calling him Big Spoon instead of nah, Big Spoon.
No, calling big spoon is gonna be hilarious. Actually, I need you to do that on SmackDown Friday when you tweet.
Here come Big Spoon, y'all.
I just want to
Listen.
see the reaction to it. You know, I just think it'll be funny.
Man,
I did enjoy Nick versus Gunther though. Of
Me too.
course, like I knew it would be a good match because Nick is not retirement ready. If you
He
ask
could still
me.
go in the
He
ring,
can
yeah.
still go.
he's
I
only
saw-
39.
Yeah, I saw Corey and False Finish post that they're saying this is not Nick's last match in WWE.
Oh, good.
That they enjoyed him in the ring so much that they are expecting another match, but it probably won't be this year. Which I'm crossing fingers and toes that it's Aisha's favorite op, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, it needs to be. It needs to be because they had beef before he decided to film his thing.
Yeah.
And I want Nick to win. Nick better win that one.
Yeah, I didn't know what other word to use for him, Aisha. Sorry,
I think
she was side-eyeing me with their favorite one.
Lamborghini Applebottom might have taken his spot, but when Drew gets back, I'm sure he'll just slide right back into his.
I feel like I said that before. You scrolling through my TikTok for LA Night names?
I said on whose live was it? Was it your live on SummerSlam? I called him something Applebottom. You might have said Lamborghini, but I used Applebottom, and I just decided to couldn't think of another LA name right now.
I just love that that's the thing now is
Luigi Applebottom.
And the problem is that Aisha got some of everybody doing it because every time I scroll down my timeline,
yeah, everyone's doing
no one calls that man by his name. It's some LA abbreviation, and you know what? I love that for him.
I love that for Linguini too, bro.
That's what he get for screaming into the void at my tribal chief long enough that my tribal chief actually got to pay attention.
And shout out to LA Night Girl who commented, "You're right, he does spawn everywhere. We love a good sport." Because I was like, well, at least you know your favorite just be spawning wherever he can. He hears that the bloodline is like somewhere in the state, and he comes sniffing like a hound dog, like they're here.
I got a video that I plan on posting soon too, where I was talking about how I commend him for finding ways to get title opportunities that have never been done before. Because what do you mean? Like, what do you mean the reason why you're owed a title opportunity is because Jimmy and Solo fucked you out of a title shot that you lost? You lost 1, 2, 3. Your shoulders were definitely on that mat 3 years ago. And then what do you mean? What do you mean you were owed a title opportunity because you lost Money in the Bank because Division interfered in that match? And so you tried to challenge Seth Rollins for a match at Saturday night's main event as if that was going to get you the damn briefcase, and it didn't. And Seth Rollins faked an injury to get out of that damn match and gave it to you. And then he ended up cashing in on CM Punk, and because he cashed in on CM Punk, that was your ticket to getting a title opportunity against LA Knight. But that didn't work because CM Punk was there. But because CM Punk was there, you didn't like that, and so you kept spawning because CM Punk was talking about how he wanted his title back. But also Jey Uso was there because he's a former world champion and he never got his opportunity at the title, even though he lost it, and he had more of a valid reason to be there than you did. But because you were there and you felt like you were next in line because Seth Rollins screwed you out of Money in the Bank is baffling to me, right? And then Seth relinquished the title, right? Seth relinquished the title, and CM Punk got the title. And so his reason for wanting a title shot at CM Punk was because Seth Rollins owed him a title shot because he screwed him at Money in the Bank.
Insert the meme of the guy doing all like where he's pointing around.
I'm hoping this helps y'all understand how ridiculous his reasonings behind getting a title shot is. Because with his logic, there's a lot of people that are owed title opportunities when it comes to fucking Roman Reigns, bro.
Well,
let's not use his reasoning, because my whole thing when it comes to Roman is I do not want to see the exact same people getting title shots again. Like, Punk was technically new. Jacob was new. Seth was finishing a story. LA Knight really shouldn't be here.
And I bet you when LA Knight loses that match at Money in the Bank,
he's
gonna come back again. He's going to come back again for a rematch. And the reason why he's going to come back for a rematch is because his Timberland boots were untied. And somehow, some way, the bloodline was underneath the ring, right? They put their fingers from off underneath the ring apron and they tied his Timberland boots together. So when he got back in the ring, he tripped and fell. And the reason why he got pinned was because he couldn't get back up. So he's gonna be like, "You owe me another title opportunity." Yeah, and I'm like, "No." So I don't want to. I don't want it. I'm not interested. I need him to
I'm
find him
not
some
even.
business.
I just want to point out that for a while here, me and Aisha were both saying, "Oh, we should go to Money in the Bank," and then we realized who Roman's match was gonna be at for Money in the Bank, and I said, you know what, we should go to
We should
Survivor
Royal Rumble.
Series. Fuck that. Oh, Royal Rumble. I'm probably Aisha and DB probably got to be sick of me by now, cause like I've been all in their messages with places to go, and she don't even know we finna go rock climbing. I'm joking.
Are you
I'm
sure that
afraid
that's
of
not going to
heights.
turn into a
Baby, I'm
lure?
afraid of heights. I'm not doing that for real. I'm not. But yeah, I gotta listen. Don't you dare side eye me over there. Oh, you know what? I could never take Aisha on those types of adventures, can I? God damn. Next thing you know, we be giving lore stories from the dead. Like from the great beyond.
I
Like,
was
so,
I
hey,
was
let me
rock
tell
climbing and my
y'all-
ankle got
Yeah,
stuck.
let me tell y'all the crazy way Aisha fell down the Grand Canyon. And the craziest part is, it's not
She'll
even
live.
that she fell. Like, she just did some crazy shit, and it just turned into something else. And you're just sitting there like, how in the world did you even do that? Yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, no. Okay, so let me.
That's
let me
kind
go
of
on
like
and remove that
how
stuff
when
from
we
my
were
list.
at.
Here she go. Here she go.
It's kind of like how when you remember you were on the phone with me at lunch, and I rolls down my window at cookout, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was rock sediment or some salt coming out the drive-through window, but it hit me in the eye behind my glasses, and I was freaking out for like an hour on the phone because I couldn't get whatever it was out of my eyelid, and it was hurting me so bad. So I had to walk around with one of my eyes closed for like an hour and a half until
Eye
it finally
patchy.
disappeared. That's just the type of shit that be happening, you know. You know how
I
it go.
just want you to know that there are so many times Aisha's on the phone with me and something happens to her, and I just gotta sit there and listen to her go through the motions of trying to figure out how to fix it.
Either that or I just disregard it, like, oh well, you know, that shit happened, and then we
At
move,
the
you
end,
know.
at the end of season 2, I need us to just gather like the best of Aisha's moments, and they're gonna be all different stories of her.
I don't know if we drop
It's
lore.
gonna start with the LA Knight story we're going.
Bro,
I don't think she's been dropping lore like that, but don't worry, 1-800 Too Sweet and Too Sweet After Dark is coming. And maybe I'll give y'all my worst first date story during one of those.
We
hell
want to hear
yeah.
stories about when you fell. Have you ever fallen?
Have I ever fallen?
Yeah, because you don't. Me and Aisha fall all the time. Well, at least I do, and I think she has. But I feel like
the last time I fallen was down the stairs a few years back, and my scar is finally healing on my leg. I don't think it's there anymore.
I can't tell you the last time I fell. I trip. I mean, I bump into things a lot. Does that count? Like, I bumped into my car door yesterday while trying to get out of it. You know,
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I don't fall a lot, unfortunately for y'all. I'm a pretty balanced person. I might trip. Like I said, I'm clumsy as hell. I might trip, but like, I can't tell you about falling.
I never trip.
I haven't.
I never fall.
I got new bruises on me every day, and I'm like,
I've never gotten on a water slide and almost drowned.
Well, I never did that.
I've
either.
never ran into the back of a truck and flipped into the bed of the truck.
Is this fucking movie about me?
I was gonna say, I don't. There's the.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, this shit sounds mad familiar.
Is this play about us?
I've never been in the tub and just looked under the water because I wanted to see what it looked like.
I didn't say it this time. I always bring that one up.
I love you. I'm done. I'm done.
All I do is
I'm
fight
done.
for my life.
Now, I will say, I know some crazy lore stories. I just don't have them. I mean, I've done some crazy shit, but like, that's some shit I'd have to tell you, like, off.
Oh, I got some.
I would not share that with the general public. So sorry. But yeah, like, I can tell you about, like, I don't even know. Have I even had a worse first date?
My first
ever
kiss
had
went
I
a
can tell you
little
about.
like
Oh, you know what?
this.
I got a good one. I got a
And
good one.
kiss.
Aisha knows this. I can tell you about how not the last guy I was talking to, but the guy before that gave me the ick
Ooh.
in one phone call. It took him 3 seconds to give me the ick, and it's over the craziest shit.
I get the
ick over
Iceman
everything,
wasn't a
too.
nice man.
That man called me and he was singing, and I was like, "Oh, are you singing to me or something?
That
Like,
would
what
have
is
been
this?"
strike one. Did you singing and then
That wasn't even the problem. He was like, "Yeah, it's Iceman season, baby. Iceman out. What you talking about? You don't know about Iceman?
because of Drake?
You're 40. You're 40 years old talking about some fucking Iceman. Get out my phone. Oh my god."
Oh, brother.
He gave me the ick real bad, and I was like, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I don't think he watches this. He was one of my exes, and I was like this close from giving him another shot, and then he said that shit, and I was like,
No,
No.
man. Got to go.
no. And yeah, I get the ick real bad. Aisha will tell you, like, I will cut people off for the smallest shit. You will always know when I go from being lover girl Clarissa to just being Clarissa again, because like I'm all happy, I'm all smiley, I'm all my man, my man, my man, and then I just shut the fuck up.
Oh, I get the ick so bad. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just over the way people breathe. It's terrible. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know a lot of people could get the ick over me, but oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's when I'm haven't had that problem in a while, but it's tough. I get the ick very
I hope
quickly.
Aisha can't hear me because I actually blame her for the shit I went through in my last relationship. Because I got the ick very early on in that last one. Yeah, you. I got the ick, and she told me it wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm gonna tell you what it was. You know what it was, Haley?
No.
That man called me big money. That man called me big money when we was talking about something. And I said it. I said it, even though you weren't sitting there. I still said it. Yup, did. I have a problem with men who call me big money. I have a problem with men saying the words big money to a woman anyway. Girls, if you either sit down or stop all them hand gesturings. Do what you gotta do and bring your butt back so we can finish. Thank you.
A few moments later.
But yeah, I hate when men, because most of the time, if a man is calling you big money, and I get it, because from some guys are like, oh, it's just a joke, it's just a joke. Most men who say that are broke.
Broke
And
boy.
I'm not saying I'm rich or well off or that I have a lot of money. I don't. I just think I do decently well for myself. I'm able to afford a lot of the shit that I want to do, not easily, but I can afford it. The end. Yeah, that's not a flex. I'm not flexing. I just wanted to clarify.
Flex on everyone.
I'm just saying, I literally was like, oh, he called me big money. I'm done.
They call me big
and
money.
me and Aisha had a conversation, and like I said, this was very early on, so like I'm blaming her now, but I didn't blame her then. But like, I understand why we both got over it, but yeah, I shouldn't have got over it. It would have saved me some stress. Anyway, back to SummerSlam.
Don't ever do that dance ever again a day in your life.
Let's talk about CM Punk and Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship.
Let's get it out the way. The man had swamp ass and didn't poop his pants. So glad we could have this discussion.
I'm so glad that was the first
your
thing
fascination with a shitty booty is very
that was
because
I
have
been
that's
muting,
not where I was going.
I have been muting these comments, and I'm sick of it. That is why. Anyways,
I don't want to hear no more about a shitty booty again.
Please.
I don't. Relax.
I wanted to hear because me and Aisha had a very different opinion of the match than Haley did. So, because Haley said, she actually thought it was a good match. It wasn't bad. So, Haley, I'm not, and not that I'm saying me and Aisha think it was a terrible match. Haley, I just want to know from your point of view, like, what was it about the match that you liked or enjoyed?
I feel like that Punk and Cody have good chemistry in the ring. I think I've seen them have better matches in the past, yes.
Right.
But I do feel like they connect and their moveset connects in the ring better. And I think that it was just, in my opinion, what kind of made it like was, I don't think some of the bigger spots that they took connected, but I think overall, like in ring, I do enjoy like their styles of wrestling together.
Gotcha.
For instance, everybody loves when Gunther and Punk are in the ring together, and I hate that. I think it's awful when they're in the ring together. I hate it.
I didn't love that one either.
I definitely didn't, but
actually for the same reason that I don't like Punk, that I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it as much. I don't like slow matches.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need some type of middle piece during that downtime that keeps me intrigued. Because like another match that was kind of slower moving was Roman versus Seth, right? But in those slow times, there's the looks between the two of them. They're had both Roman and Seth. They're still telling a story. They're both talking shit. They're still engaging you within the match. And so when you're not doing something to keep me engaged, I kind of fall off. And so it was kind of like a up down for me.
They definitely didn't do that this time, I will say. I don't think that they kept whatever story they were trying to tell going. And
there wasn't a story to begin with.
Yeah, like I think Cody is usually like that is one of his stronger points. He's good at that, and same with Punk. And I think that's the problem to begin with, is that there wasn't really a story to go with, and for two people that are so good on the mic and like good at telling stories, I feel like that maybe that is why, like, I don't know. There definitely felt like there was a disconnect. I don't think the match was like the worst match I've ever saw, but there was definitely a disconnect, and I feel like Mai was kind of distracted by like the whole Randy returning, and I was excited to see him, and maybe that's why I thought it wasn't that bad. I thought CM Punk died during his fall, so I was like, oh my fucking god, like when Cody rolled and he went through the table, I was like,
Okay. I don't necessarily think it's bad. I don't think it was a bad match. I just think that the match was just a little off. Maybe it's like you said, there was that lack of storytelling and that world building. Maybe that aspect was missing.
But I think the moral of the story, or the lesson that needed to be learned here, is that we gotta stop pushing so hard for dream matches, because sometimes those dream matches end up being incredibly disappointing. And so I feel like this was one of those instances where everyone was like, oh, it's a dream match, we want to see this match, it's a dream match, and we're excited for it. I feel like it would have been good to get this match out of Cody and Punk a few years back, not when, Punk has very obviously slowed down. I know a lot of people are kind of in denial of the fact that he is kind of getting slow, but he's getting slow.
50. He's slowing down. We gotta talk. We gotta come to terms with it.
I feel like age is something that we shouldn't try to ignore. I know that when we watch some of our favorite wrestlers, especially those that we watched growing up, we feel like we're a kid still. But you kind of gotta realize in reality that, dude, you're 30, he's almost 50. When I'm saying you're 30, I'm talking about me, because I was a hardcore CM Punk fan, and being able to watch him, come back to the WWE has been great, but it's kind of crazy to see him covered in gray hair now, and to see all of his wrinkles very prominent. His eye bags has eye bags now. Back in the day, it was just the eye bags. Now his eye bags have eye bags. And yeah, he's probably in the best shape of his life right now, but that doesn't cover up the fact that he is still getting older. And so I do feel like they tried their hardest to get that match to be something that would be main event worthy, because a lot of people were talking about the Roman Seth Rollins match, and they really wanted their match to rival, or at least compete and be able to hold up against Roman and Seth. And unfortunately, because they were trying too damn hard, the match did fall short, because they was pulling every damn trick out their ass. I hate that moonsault was crooked, and I got worried as hell when Punk went soaring and flying onto that damn announce table, because he was down for a hot ass minute. He was down, and so it was, there was a lot going on. There was definitely a lot going on, and the whole premise of their storyline, like just summing it up, was them basically being two clumsy men who had too much
Mm-hmm.
pride and couldn't apologize to each other. But then they
Mm-hmm.
started trying to add this brotherly aspect to it, and that's when
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, it's starting to get a little bit too, like, resemblant of Seth and Roman.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what they were trying to go for, but that's what it's giving, because I've never heard them two call each other brother until that feud started to escalate a bit more, because Punk called him little brother, and then Cody was like, I'm not your little brother, I'm nothing to you, we're not brothers. And I was like, okay, this sounds like, what if
Yeah.
Roman and Seth were standing right here? Like, if this was them, we would be eating this up right now. But like,
Yeah.
we're already hurt this Monday night. Why are we hearing it on Friday?
I think they wanted to, they probably noticed, the fans, seeing that there was not really any depth to their feud. From the beginning, it started off just a respect off pretty much, and like which one of us is going to be the best by the end of this. And then that kind of gets old really quickly, because y'all not really doing anything to like get me truly invested in trying to figure out which one of you will come out on top. Whereas, just like I said previously, Roman himself really only needed one promo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the other promos we ended up getting were just for extra, just to build onto it more, because we know the story, we know the relationship, we do know that they both love each other. They hate that they love each other, but they still love the fuck out of each other. And I think that you want that your feud to, like you said, compete with something like that. So you got to add some type of past involvement into it, which is where we get Dusty Rhodes being brought up, which is where we get the I love you, but I can't stand you, or I don't like you, or whatever it was. You get those elements added in because, okay, I want to add a little emotion into this, but it kind of falls flat because you have this very emotional story going on the other side of things. And it prevents, I don't know, it prevents you from feeling the same way, because it doesn't seem, what's the word I'm looking for?
They never
Just
were
didn't seem
going to
genuine.
be able to
Genuine.
compete with them. They were never going to
No,
be able
it was
to.
never going to happen. I don't think there is
Mm-mm.
a single, the only feud that, there's only two people or two groups that I think would come close to actually competing with Roman versus Seth, but I still don't think they would get there completely. And that would be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because they have such a long history, and
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy and Jay.
Oh, hell
Those
yeah,
are
Jimmy
the,
and Jay.
and that's just because we know the history, we know their relationships. Those are the only two other matches that I think you could compete emotionally with Seth and Roman. But
Mm-hmm.
the level of hatred mixed with love, like the care in Roman's eyes when he looked at Seth before delivering that final spear, it was
Stop.
not something that can be easily replicated in the ring. Okay, so
Oh, that whole match makes me emotional.
I just, it was never gonna happen. Again, I don't think the match was bad. I think it was a pretty good match. That match could have main evented SmackDown, and I would have been a-okay.
I think also with that match, and this is something I just wanted to mention before I forgot, before we move on, there doesn't have to be, like, obviously, in my opinion, there doesn't have to be a set heel and a set face, but I
Right.
think that the problem is that with Cody and Punk, we're both kind of waiting for them to kind of lean into what their character is supposed to be, and I do feel like we're kind of seeing a rebrand in Cody a little bit, where I think we're going to get that heel turn. But I actually read that Punk wanted to turn heel during this match, and they wouldn't let him because they're waiting for Cody to turn heel, and Cody has the green light whenever he's ready. Apparently it's up to him. I think we're gonna get that. I read that. I think we're gonna get that with Randy and Cody. I don't think they were gonna like turn him heel when he had the title, to be honest with you. I didn't see that happening. I think we might, him saying I don't have to be the good guy anymore, I feel like was kind of like a, okay, now he feels like he can start to act like that. But
Right.
I think knowing how great of a heel Punk is, it almost felt like that Punk didn't know how to like act. And so because he wasn't acting, like, he's a better heel than face in my opinion. So does he have to be a heel or face? No, but I feel like when he's not a heel, his promos literally are all just I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world, because like he's not. Does that make sense? I don't know if what I'm saying is adding, but it just felt like that there could have been more opportunity if it would have went in one of those directions. I feel like it was just like there wasn't a plot of a story, and then also it felt like we were seeing two guys who like are in the middle of kind of like a transformation with their character a little. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. If you're clocking it, if not, it's fine.
Yeah,
It makes sense in my brain.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I think the only thing that that stood out to me was like CM Punk saying that he wanted to turn heel. I think I read somewhere that the reason why CM Punk won't turn heel anymore is because the crowd will just cheer him. And
that's a good point too.
And that was the reason why he didn't want to turn heel. And I think what has to happen there, I feel like nowadays we just got to understand that a lot of people really enjoy the villain. When it comes to a TV show, a lot of people gravitate towards the villain. When the Avengers first dropped the movie, I didn't give a damn about what Thor, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, none of them. I didn't give a damn what they was talking about. Loki, on the other hand, I was invested. I liked that. I wanted to see more of that. You feel me? The same with Charmed, right? You had Leo on one end, and then you had Cole on the other end, and I loved Cole. You feel me? I loved me some Cole. Bad. Right? The same with Buffy. Cole. Like, yeah, you were cheering for Angel, hey, but I loved him as Angelus. I did. I loved him as Angelus. And some people, you even say, yeah, you loved Angel, but you also really loved Spike, because Spike was also the bad guy. A lot of people lean towards Spike. And it's the same with Damon and Stefan. Like, everyone loves Stefan because Stefan was the good guy, but Damon was right there, and we loved us some Damon. So it's very hard in this day and age to want to hate the heel unless they're really annoying, right?
Like Gunther.
Like, if they are
like in the most respectful way,
because Gunther isn't a cool heel. He's a traditional he's a traditional heel. He's just bad just to be bad. Whereas Kevin Owens as a heel was cool. He was funny. So you can get behind him. Naomi as a heel was cool. She was funny. You was able to get behind her. Roman Reigns as a heel, he's just fucking cool. And he's gonna always be cool, right? And you can't hate someone who's too damn cool, right? Like, he could do something crazy and you be like, damn, he just stole my car, but hey, he looked clean as hell doing it, bro. Like, you can't even hate him for it.
It's like Randy too. It don't matter what that man does, because we love when he's heel. He's gonna get cheered no matter how much of he could literally break someone's skull open and wipe the floor with them, and he's still getting a pop. He's getting cheered.
Like, I think that just goes to show that the people that we enjoy the most as heels are good heels, that they're really good at being the bad guy. Like, a lot of people talk about how they prefer right hand man Jey Uso. They prefer Crash Out Jey Uso because they loved that edge to him. They loved how angry he was because he seemed to be his most locked in version of himself when he was the heel, right? And you couldn't hate him. You couldn't. Like, the pops that the bloodline was getting when the Usos were heels back when they were in the bloodline was crazy. And they got louder and louder each week. And I'd be damned if someone tells me that Sami Zayn was the reason for that. Stop it.
Please.
Stop.
Who said that?
Stop. People say it all the time. They say Sami Zayn's the reason why the bloodline is as relevant as it is. But what is Sami Zayn doing right now?
Don't worry, we'll wait.
That is so disrespectful to the entire Bloodline story to say that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they said Bloodline was boring and they weren't doing anything of substance. But when Sami Zayn was introduced into it, a person who isn't Samoan was introduced into it, and then all of a sudden it became digestible to people. It's kind of like going to Memphis and you go down Bill Street. And then you are listening to BB King perform, and then you look out the window and Elvis Presley's right there writing that shit down. You know what I mean? So, like, Elvis Presley pop up at the studio the next day. He got a cover, but it's being sold as his song, right? And everybody's like, hell yeah, no, this song hits. Whole time it belonged to BB King. So moral of the story is Elvis Presley is a thief, but still, it just
Well,
that's how I
is a
felt
lot of
about
things.
that's how I felt about Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. Like, you know, how you have this man come into this damn faction and y'all give him full credit for the popularity of the Bloodline as if they weren't putting in the time 2 years before his ass got in there, right? Because he was getting packed up by Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, that was crazy. He really was like just doing whatever. I mean, it's because he's funny and he cut the Uzi line, which is funny, but that doesn't make the entire Bloodline story. And anybody that thinks it doesn't have a brain. Sorry to be that person and be rude, but you're lacking a brain because oh god, I could go on, but please, I'm not even gonna get started. Just
to get us back on track though.
Mm-hmm.
Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell could have just been a regular no DQ match.
That was a no fucking Hell in a Cell.
We didn't need the Hell in the Cell if they weren't gonna actually be Hell in the Cell, and you know, I'm a tiny bit disappointed with that match. Great build, and it was a little bit of a letdown in the execution.
It feels like that Brock was ready to be retired, and that he just wanted to retire in his hometown, and he enjoyed working with Obafemi. He has gone on record to say that what he did at the end of that match, I think was very respectful. Not a big fan of Brock, but I can respect him telling his fan base that this is the future, this is who you know, we didn't need him to say that because we already knew that Obafemi was the future. Let me just make that clear.
It was a nice gesture.
Yes. I feel like we saw him remove the floorboard, do that move on Oba. I forget what it's called. Oba
pile
kicks
driver.
out, which was very pile driver. I was I was like, shit, I didn't think he was gonna kick out, and like that was it. And it was to no fault of Oba. I think that Farm Boy's tired and just didn't have it in him. Honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It has nothing to do with Oba.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Because
you think it did have to do with Oba?
Yeah, I don't like how they are building Oba up to be this indestructible, basically immortal being within the WWE. Because they did the same shit to Gunther, and then folks crashed out when he finally lost. So I feel like they are flying too close to the sun with Oba. And it kind of restricts him, and it puts him in a box. That entire match, he was literally getting like he got 3 steel steps to the headshots. He got like 7 F5s, 10 suplexes, and then pile drived on top of exposed mat onto the wood that was underneath the mat. And you still managed to kick out right at 2. It wasn't a 2.99. It was literally at 2, right? And so, and then right after he kicked out, the match basically ended because that's where Oba started handling shit. And I just feel like, how are you supposed to put him up against anyone and anyone come off or appear as a threat to Obafemi whatsoever? He's just going, like, it also restricts him and it puts him in a place where he probably can't even be used as much because we know the outcome of the match is he's going to win. And eventually what's going to end up having to happen is he's going to end up going up against Roman, or he's going to end up going up against CM Punk. Now, I feel like for CM Punk, it would make more sense for him to actually lay down for Oba because he's older and he's not strong enough to overpower Obafemi. He doesn't have any backup to help take him down. in terms of Roman Reigns. To have Roman Reigns lay down to Obafemi on the first match, to me, is crazy. But to also have Roman Reigns pin Obafemi would also be crazy, because it would have people being like, oh, Roman doesn't want to put over new talent. Mind you, Roman puts over new talent quite often. He put over Bronson Reed. He's been putting over Braun Breaker. He had a whole feud with the Vision. Like, we were stuck in the Vision vortex for a hot ass minute. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I do.
Yeah,
so
it's not Roman's fault. It's not Roman's fault that Braun Breaker got a hernia and now they got him stuck with,
all he did for damn
Yeah.
a year, dog.
And-
That's
so-
it.
And so, to me, it just kind of puts us in a weird situation with Oba, because every match that he goes into, he has to win it. He has to win it. If he doesn't win it, then, we have a problem. I kind of had my complaints about him with Otis, because him and Otis had a really good match. I hate how quick he handled Otis, though, because Otis is very strong. And Otis was able to showcase his power and strength in that match as well, and showed that he was of a decent odd to Oba. But like, they packed him up very quickly, and I didn't like that, because you're making Oba appear way too powerful way too soon.
Yeah, and we don't want him to look like that Goldberg vibe either, because Goldberg couldn't wrestle, and obviously Oba can wrestle, and there's
and that was a thing with Goldberg.
Because
Goldberg was undefeated for a hot ass minute too, within his career within the WWE. And so I don't want the same thing to happen to Oba that kind of happened to Gunther, because Gunther has only lost 6 matches in his entire WWE career, and people act like if he was to get pinned right now, it would hurt him significantly. And I feel like that would be the same case if it was Obafemi.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. I have nothing to add.
No, that's a really good point.
Let's go to Chad Gable and Penta. Yeah,
I ain't got much to say on that.
It was a decent match, though.
I'm happy for Chad. It's a little ballsy to turn it into a root beer commercial at the end, but I digress.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part, but beautiful moment with his family, though.
How long this lasts on Gable, I'm not really sure, honestly. I don't know how long but good for him for finally getting a title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving then.
Yeah.
Women's ladder match. We know how it ends, but how did y'all feel about the match in its entirety, outside of the fact that Jade Cargill looked fucking fantastic in that gear?
I thought it was sweet that Charlotte had her Scarlet dedicated stuff that made me, I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna lie. I think Tiffy and Chelsea, every time they jump together, and they kind of makes me laugh a little bit, because it works. It definitely works.
It fits their characters.
They're two airheads.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though, but like it's like almost like they should have been doing this all along. Like, and I mean, you gotta call it what it is.
Yeah, those are some airheads. They have a time of their life together.
I mean, I wanted Charlotte to win, but I feel like that I kind of knew it was going to be Chelsea.
Yeah, I would have loved for Charlotte to win. I definitely think she should have, personally speaking. But I feel like we all just knew what was coming by one point. And so it just became okay, so this is what we're doing. Well,
I'm happy Chelsea got her moment, though. I mean, because I know she's been... she said to Triple H backstage, how many times have I been let go in the last 13 years? So it is nice to see her have that moment. I do think they made the mistake of saying that Chelsea's all her family and her friends are here, because, like, I wish that they wouldn't have said that on commentary, because I feel like that kind of made it even more apparent that, okay, so Chelsea's gonna win this. You know what I mean? If you were to say, like, oh, and there goes somebody's entire, like, they wouldn't be here for no reason. She's Canadian.
I mean, I will point out to that fact, though, that Jade's husband and daughter are typically at these bigger shows.
Yeah.
all the time, regardless of if Jade is winning or not. And you can always tell when they're there because she makes sure to go pose right in front of her daughter, goes over there. So, like, I'm 50-50 on that one because, you know, sometimes, I mean, Sammy lost in front of his wife.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Galena be at all of Roman matches until someone cut that video of him always glancing over to the side and saying "I love you," and I was like, "Oh,
I know, I can't."
I have to say, and I say this in the most respectful way: if Roman couldn't be more attractive, like, Jesus Christ, the way he loves that woman. Oh my word, God, please! I know you got another one in the tank somewhere. Jesus,
she looks good. It's so funny when people like aren't familiar because he doesn't show them that much, and like some of the newer fans that were like, "Oh my God, did you see Roman Reigns' wife? Who the hell did you expect him to be married to? Like, of course she looked good. Hello."
You know, I'm just saying, baddie with a baddie.
Right,
know, like both of them. Fine.
And his daughter is so grown; it makes me like feel so old when I see.
She looks just like Galena, bro.
I was gonna say, Roman's knees didn't even fight. His didn't even fight. Put up a fight. Like, they were sitting together, and I said, "God damn, you look just like your mama." And it's more so also like, you know, when we met Galena, they were in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I could have swore we had 20-year-old Galena just sitting right there. Not that.
Oh yeah, she hasn't aged today,
but like, God.
And you know how they say. And you know how they say, like, you know, in black families, they say that if your kid looks so much like the father, that means the father was pissing you off. Mm-hmm. Roman was not pissing Galena off at all.
She had a happy pregnancy, okay? That baby was glowing.
Even the twins are like a good mix, I feel like, too, like from what I've seen. The one older twin that was standing with him at the Yankees game, and I said, oh, now he got a little bit of his dad's aura the way he's standing there, just like not even.
I haven't seen a single picture of the twins. If I have, their faces is like scrubbed out, so I don't ever.
The closest one was Fanatics, and it's not even Fanatics. It was when they went to the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that's when I saw them.
And when they were recording Roman, you know, the family is off to the side, and one of the boys ended up turning his head. He had on glasses though, but that's how I saw him. I have not seen their full faces. Because even at Mania, you know, when he went to hug them, that's when they really put the camera on the kids, so it covered their faces, which I respect the hell out of. But I mean, since we're on the topic of Roman versus Seth, beautiful story.
It was everything I could have wanted in that match and more. I literally am so happy that I don't feel like that there needs to be a part 2 because everything was done so beautifully. I have to say, as a Shield fan, they couldn't have done that match better, in my opinion. The mask, the entrance, I could go on, but it just, I loved it.
You over there fighting demons, dog.
Sorry, I should have interrupted you. I got a little
excited. You didn't interrupt me at all. I mean, but it was a good match for sure. I love storytelling. I know how a lot of people like to try to shit on storytelling within professional wrestling nowadays, but I do feel like sometimes it's incredibly necessary to have in order to have a good match. Like, yeah, a showcase of athleticism and just a random clinic of just matches happening. You know, that's cool. That's fine. Like, seeing Rey Fenix go up against Carmelo Hayes, that's a fantastic match, a great match. But storytelling really does make it, and it's very rare to come across two people in a company that's able to tell such a great story together. And Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns nailed telling that story. They took us through time. They did a once upon a time, started out from the very beginning, worked their way all the way up to the grand finale. And I think my favorite part of seeing them, you know, seeing the match was when it was all over and they were still laid out on the floor, on the mat. The camera was above the ring to show them kind of like laid out to the side of each other. I thought that was so beautiful. And so did I love that they also paid homage to Jon Moxley, and for the first time in years, they did not shy away from saying his name. Because hearing Michael Cole say Dean Ambrose, Dirty Deeds, shades of Dean Ambrose, their old
Yeah, I
friend,
almost fell over.
I was like, you're joking. I love this because they always, when people leave the company, they try to avoid talking about it. But that also just goes to, and they tried really hard to avoid talking about Dean, but it
That's
just
some
goes
frustration
to
stuff.
show like how big of a contribution John Moxley had to professional wrestling. Even if he wasn't booked the best under Vince, I'm pretty sure if he would have stuck around just a little bit longer, he would have gotten a fantastic booking from Triple H. I definitely feel like him, Roman, and Seth would have been passing titles around like blunts. Honestly,
Yeah, and he is the guy in AEW for everyone. Like, he's the guy over there.
Yeah.
He's like one of their, if not the biggest star they have,
And
other than maybe MJF and Kenny Omega.
I do want to preface this though by saying that all because we are talking about John Moxley / Dean Ambrose and his contributions to the Shield and what he's done in the WWE does not mean that we want him back. We know he said never.
Exactly.
He will never return. We understand that. We respect that. We ain't trying to say we want him back. We're acknowledging that he is part of the story. You cannot not talk about one of the biggest characters within a story because then there's so many holes and a lot of things don't make sense. Seth and Roman weren't in the Shield together by themselves.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose was there too. He was in the middle. He was always in the middle. He was part of it. His voice is in the theme, in the entrance music. He's always been there. So you can't expect fans to not talk about John Moxley or Dean Ambrose or reminisce on the times that he was there because people do have memories of him within the WWE. So I just wanted to preface that real quick, just in case there's anyone out there listening and they're wondering why we're talking about him and want to come up with these insane assumptions that we just want John back in the WWE. That's not the case.
No, we understand.
Yeah. I do also want to point out the moment I knew that this really was the last match, and that was that damn Shield chair. When when Seth had Roman poised for the chair, and Roman gets up, smacks Seth or punched him, whatever he does, and Roman gets that chair, and Seth stands in position with that manic Joker-like smile, grin on his face. Like he was ready. He gave Roman the whole setup. He wanted Roman to take the bait because that meant he was still up here. And Roman threw that chair away, and I literally think I burst into tears because I was like, "Oh God, this is it! Like
this is it." He said, "We're gonna do it like men."
He has learned because he learned that lesson the last time he could get his revenge on Seth. It literally cost him everything. He chose his past over his current, over his present. He chose
and lost his
past and lost his title. Lost his wise man. Lost his Ula Fala for a moment. Like he lost everything because of that Shield chair. And this time he said, no, I'm gonna, we're putting this in the past. I'm putting you in the past. We're moving on. And I just thought that as a whole, it was a big deal, but the match told such a beautiful story with, Roman hitting the curve stomp, Seth hitting spears, like using
both
each
got
other.
a shield bomb.
Yeah, both of them doing the shield bomb into the announce this to the other. It told such a beautiful full circle story of, hey, we know each other front ways, back ways, upside down. This is soulmates. Us, absolutely wrestling soulmates. Us at odds, one-on-one, that's done. We're done.
And
we fought our last match.
I also would like to say that the storytelling also went beyond the ring because Seth's entrance definitely told a big story because he started it off because the feud started with him in black, right?
Yes.
Black usually signifies death and transformation. And so SummerSlam happened. He came out with the Shield music in the beginning, and then the Shield music distorted as if it was dying, as if the plug was pulled on the music. There was some distortion to it. And then it disappeared. It diminished from the Titantron. In the entranceway, there is a hologram of Architect Shield Seth Rollins, and he's standing there. And flames appear from the stage, and then flames appear from the hologram, showing that that version of him was incinerated and burnt up and no longer existed, as in that version of him has officially died. When he comes out, he's dressed in all white. White signifies a rebirth. So he was reborn again. And this was the beginning of him finally stepping into the visionary version of himself and being able to fully embrace the version of himself that he was meant to be, in order for him to be able to continue on holding up the company in the way that he has. As for Roman, Roman came out in his normal stuff. There wasn't really much there at all, other than within the matches and stuff. And then, Monday Night Raw came, and he said that him and Seth found peace in the middle of that ring, and they were able to bury the hatchet, and he was able to give Seth his flowers, which I thought was great, because then
and he did the when he held the mic, and I was like, my heart, he's never done that before.
Cause see, a lot of people a lot of people were saying that, because we were always talking about how, or I was always talking about how I felt like Roman owed the Usos and everybody an apology, and a lot of fans were like, okay, but what about Seth? I mean, Seth has constantly said, I'm sorry, but I don't think he ever fully meant it until this match at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. And so that is where they were finally able to find, to find peace and forgive each other for the things that they've kind of put each other through, but most importantly what Seth did to, Roman, to Dean, John Moxley, and just to the Shield overall. Because if he would have never put that chair in Roman's back and betrayed the Shield, who knows where they would have been at right now. We probably would have never gotten OTC Roman Reigns. We wouldn't have gotten this version of Seth Rollins as well. And so it does make me wonder. I'm very curious as to how Roman plans on moving after this, especially with his bloodline, because a lot of the things that he was doing originally in the bloodline, if you paid attention to the story and didn't just like erase a lot of it based on bias, a lot of the stuff that he was doing to them was based off the fact that Seth did what he did to him, right? It was because of betrayal. It was his family. But he is very adamant now than he was before about trusting no one, and your blood is your actual blood. So he's kind of rebuked the fact that, Seth is his brother in a sense, even though he said, Seth will always be my brother. He said that's not blood, that's not family to Royce Keys, in regards to Jacob Fatu. So what does that really mean in terms of who Roman is now and what we could possibly get out of him? Because he did say, I'm trying not to go back to my old ways, but y'all making it real hard. Y'all embarrassing me. And then Royce Keys is not your family. That's not blood. He's no kin to me. Get rid of him. And so I'm very curious as to how he's going to be moving now that he has closed this door with Seth. Maybe. Because I want to say that was the final match, but I also feel like War Games might play a role in this too. Because
that moment...
Go ahead.
Yeah, you never know. I was going to say that moment of them sitting, though, after he won the match across the ring from each other in the corners, that was, like, so big for me because the emotion in both of their faces. I don't know. I just feel like, and if anybody doesn't know, Aisha is a writer, so for her to be pointing out all these things, like, that they were able to tell without even speaking, if you missed it, I would listen to what she just said because they're all big deals and a big part of this match, but I think that's my favorite thing about this story is that they were able to tell so much without even having to, like, say it. Like, it was just, that's my favorite part of pro wrestling. It's why I love pro wrestling. I think that the stories and the wrestling, like, together is what makes it so magical. And
goes hand in hand.
Yeah, the moment when Roman got up and went to give him the shield bump, I feel like that signified, like, a healing moment in him as well. And they... Even, I don't know if we're reaching here, but it does seem like they left a little room in between them, and if that is the case, they had the mask, but they left room in between them for John. And then if you see at the end, Roman is like rubbing the mask when they're like walking out, and I was like, oh my god, like it's definitely a chapter that has been closed for now, I guess, with both of them. But that is a really good point, because I feel like that Seth was kind of like, okay, I'm growing into a different person, I'm gonna end, but I feel like this is what he is going to heal Roman. So that's a good point. Where does this go? Do you think he'll finally be like, you know what, it's time for a new person in charge, a tribal chief, like, because I know I did my part. Like, could that lead into that part of the story where we're setting up to put somebody else in that spot? Because I almost feel like a part of him is like going to be doing his own thing aside from the bloodline now.
I mean, like, he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, but it does make you wonder, where does this leave Jimmy and Jay? Like, does this put them in position to be moved? Where does this leave Solo? Is he going to try and get Solo to come back?
He still is.
With, like, is he gonna do it though in like a respectful way now? No. Because he's not. But because then that's what I'm saying. Is he fully, like, is he still dealing with them demons a little bit?
I think he still is, because, like, what do you mean you sat up there and said, why isn't Solo on my hip? He should be getting me coffee right now. But you're talking about how everyone is supposed to be equals. Y'all said y'all want to be equals, but Solo's supposed to be getting me coffee like he's some type of errand boy. And so I feel like those aspects of Roman that we were all talking about was the reason why Jay was the way he was the first go around and everything is still there. It's still there. The fact that he sat up there and he told Jacob to basically kill that man.
Yeah.
You know? And then he sat up there and he made sure to tell everyone, trust no one. Only us. It's only us. Like, that's not your blood. That right there told me already that Sammy wasn't going to be a part of this next round. He was not going to be a part of it. I know they consider him blood, but, like, you know, family. But that was because the first go around. He's not Anawa'i Fatu. He's not bloodline. You feel me?
And that's why the Tongans aren't a part of it anymore, I think, too. And they got Haku with their own thing.
They might end up at some point coming back into it, honestly, because they are on that.
Jacob has.
They're on that
going on.
They're on the tree. They're on the family tree. Haku is on the family tree. Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Tala Tonga. They're all on the family tree that The Rock showed. And Haku is one of the elders.
Yeah.
So he's not the only elder. I do believe Rikishi is also an elder. Haku's an elder. Rikishi's an elder. I think The Rock is High Chief, of course, and there's other elders within the family as well. Of course, Jacob's father is also an elder, the Tonga kid. I do believe that's going to eventually play some type of role, and we're going to see them all come back together at some point, but I don't know how far into the story that's going to be. I'm just very curious as to how Roman plans on running the ship, because they did lose. Unfortunately, they did lose. I know it was AI generated, but they lost at SummerSlam. And I was wondering if Roman was going to say something, because the entire time that Roman has been off doing his own thing, it does seem like Jacob, Jimmy, Jacob, and Jay have been moving with no sense of direction. They're just kind of all doing their own thing. I'm finna start calling them motherfuckers Triple J, because I'd be damned if I gotta say them damn names back to back to back like that. Y'all got too many.
He never addressed Jay losing King of the Ring either. Did you notice that? Roman never addressed that.
He never did. Because
Jay ass was ducking and dodging him. What are you talking about? Jay acknowledged that himself. Like, no, I ain't trying to talk to the tribal chief right now.
I mean, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, he was avoiding. He was definitely avoiding Roman, and so I guess at this point Roman was too up to his neck in people wanting to run his chain, that he was just too. He couldn't be bothered to try to see what's going on with Triple J, you know. But now that he no longer has Seth standing in front of him, he can now focus on Triple J and what they got going on, because they weren't seeing eye to eye before SummerSlam. You couldn't get Jacob to listen to them for shit. He would not listen to them, and he tends to lose his identity when he's with people. And I noticed something, and I posted about it on Twitter. I noticed that Jacob was crying on Monday night when he challenged Royce Keys to that street fight. There was tears in his eyes, and he was sniffling. He didn't want to have to do that, but he had to because Roman requested it. And then Lyric mentioned it, where she was like, yeah, that's kind of why Sammy's not in it now either, because when Roman asked him to pull that trigger, he couldn't do it when it came to KO. Roman only wants shooters in his back pocket, and if you ain't a shooter, you gotta go. And so it does make me wonder how long Jacob is going to want to stick around before he realizes a lot of the shit that's going on is too far. Because Solo tried to tell him how Roman runs shit over here, right? And so now you in it. And now you finna see exactly what Solo saw. Exactly what Jay and Jimmy saw.
Yeah.
And
so I'm very curious how that goes.
I blame Jacob. I don't blame Roman. I blame Jacob. And maybe that's me even my bias. No, hear me out. Hear me out. He is the one who stepped to Roman and challenged him. He is the one who threw down the challenge for tribal comeback. Yeah, you could have just left that man alone. You could have just fell in line, and we would have never had to see this side of Roman. But now you lost that match, so you have to do nothing but follow directions. There's still a level of respect between Roman, Jay, and Jimmy because he asked them to come back into the fold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still got some stuff we need to work out, but, he's not out here just calling them bitches right now,
Yeah.
But Jacob is having to prove himself because Roman rewards loyalty. That's the biggest point at the end of the day. He wants loyalty. It's family above all. And if Jacob had not stepped to Roman in the manner he did, if Jacob had just left it alone the first time, he would not be in this situation. So is Roman wrong for requiring this? Of course he is. But Jacob opened that door.
I also feel like it was a pride thing because Jacob could have easily just went back to SmackDown. But if he went back to SmackDown, then he would have to answer to Solo because Solo was trying to get him back in the fold. So it was either he go back to SmackDown and he deal with the MFTs, or he joined the Bloodline.
But and you're right, but like he's fought against Solo in the MFTs. He told them no already. And so it's like you should, unfortunately, it sounds bad when I say it like this, but if he just tucked tail when it came to Roman and just moved on, or if he just did the I acknowledge you after the first match, maybe you wouldn't have been ordered to do a hit. But here you are now stuck in this position where you have to do what the tribal chief orders you to do. You have to. You don't have a choice because you put yourself in this situation by wanting to go the tribal comeback with him.
Yeah.
So, now you got to prove yourself. What he did was show Roman that my loyalty is to you and our family above everything.
Unfortunately.
No longer.
But he ain't happy about it.
He ain't got to be happy about it. But he had to now prove that Roman doesn't have to worry about any outside forces, because I hate to word it like this, but he ain't got to worry about that with Jimmy and Jay. He don't have to worry about Jay picking
because he got him where he wanted him. Because he got him.
He don't got to worry about Jay picking Cody over him. He don't got to worry about Jimmy picking Punk over him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He no longer has to worry about that.
Well, Jimmy had LA.
Well, they don't gotta
and don't gotta worry about that. But you get my point. I was just naming people that don't like Roman, that they've been battling.
Jimmy did try with LA too.
He tried
very
hard.
He
tried because, and I think that Roman was open to that simply because, like I said, it wasn't necessarily supposed to. It's not supposed to be like the first time around. They're not ruling with the same iron fist that they did the very first time, where everybody on the roster gotta just bend down on one knee. Y'all were allowed to just keep my name out your mouth. Chill out. And Jimmy tried to get LA Knight to chill out. He tried. Jay tried to get him to chill out with a more violent manner. He tried.
Well,
However, LA Knight didn't listen. So now what has to happen? Now he got to get that ass beat at Money in the Bank.
well, he been running his mouth about the culture for too long. So
don't get me started, but yeah,
I don't like the way that I just we know how I feel about that.
It's I will say, for me, Jacob opened a door that was mostly closed.
I agree.
Jay was able to crack that door a little bit going into the Roman and Punk storyline when Jay was like, get him. And it opened that door for Roman to unleash that beast that lives inside of him, right?
Yeah, he said, Joe,
because
get him, kill him, get him.
I love that, and I hate that they didn't explore that any further than what it is, because now Jim and Jay are just kind of like doing whatever the fuck. But I did find it very interesting that like Roman came out after Jacob killed Royce and acknowledged him for doing that. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before. So
I haven't.
I see it more of acknowledging that you saw my demand, not request, my requirement. You followed orders, just like the tribal chief said. Not that it's not an acknowledgement, but it's more of a, I told you to do it, you did it, thank you.
Right.
It's really the addition of Jacob that shows us when Roman said some things change, but I don't. It's still present because he has shown us change behavior. He did.
I think he's shown us change behavior with the twins, but Jacob, he gotta learn.
And that's my point. Like I said, Jay cracked that door a little bit and reminded Roman that he sometimes needed to wake up and pull deep inside himself, get that angry ass person out of you, and beat the fuck out these folks. But Jacob opened a door that I don't know if it can be closed, because
it's that power that he's used to feeling, and that he hasn't felt it in a while. And now that Jacob is around, he's remembering how it used to be when he had this bitch on lock, right?
Yes.
And so I do feel like when we're going to see that escalate some more, like in that segment that happened backstage where he was like, I'm trying so hard not to go back to my old ways. Absolutely. I do feel like that's going to end up happening, and we're going to start seeing a far more aggressive side of the bloodline, because right now they're really goofy. In that match that happened at SummerSlam, they were very goofy. They were not taking that fucking match serious whatsoever. Like, I was so annoyed with how that match went. I was so annoyed. Because
they were just happy to walk out together.
That was really it. Yeah, they were doing they 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, they was doing that shit. But for sure. But like, my thing is, I don't like that that like the only person with some type of importance within the bloodline right now is Jacob. It seems like they're putting a lot of their energy within building the dynamic between Roman and Jacob, and they're forgetting all about the Usos. And I feel like they shouldn't, especially being that Jay was originally the right-hand man. I feel like we probably should have. I wouldn't have minded having a segment where Roman called them out to the ring, or they all came out to the ring, and Roman asked them in front of everybody, "Hey, what the fuck happened at SummerSlam? I told y'all to handle LA Knight, and y'all didn't. Back in the day, we would have got that segment."
Do that.
Because that old Roman would have absolutely got into there. Because even when he was talking to them backstage, he really wasn't being disrespectful. He really wasn't. He was holding angry. Back.
He was back there like this. He was like, I'm trying
he was
so hard.
Literally just like, okay, I'm not finna cuss y'all out the way I want to, but what the fuck? It was a teensy tiny bit of shades of the past, but again, he's holding back. He's trying to be a better person, be a better chief. And so it just makes me wonder how long until we see that descent from Roman, how long until he starts to not even starts, until he gets to where he's gone too far and somebody has to pull his ass back out of that shit again.
Yeah,
so,
it reminds me of like a parent when their kids are like not listening and they're like, you're this close to them. That's where he's at.
That when you're showing your ass in like Walmart or Kroger
and your parent gives you the look
and no ain't no look, it's yanks you over to them and in your ear be like, if you don't sit your ass down. That's what it was.
Because see, my whole situation and what I find interesting is that like Roman was very much so for everyone leveling up in the beginning, because he was like, Jay's gonna go level up by going to go win the King of the Ring. Of course, he didn't win the King of the Ring, and then that was it. There was promises made about Jimmy. Oh, we got something coming for Jimmy. Trust. We haven't seen anything. It just seems like he was just acknowledging that a lot of people were like, hey, what about Jimmy? And that was really it. I think a lot of people found satisfaction in the fact that he acknowledged that Jimmy, has contributed a lot to the Bloodline success. But now we're starting to get to that point where we're like, okay, so are you going to uphold your part of the bargain for Jimmy? Like, what's going on here?
Money in the bank.
And then,
I mean, we can hope. I don't know if it'll.
And I don't know if we're going to see a part where it's going to be like, because Jacob was able to take out Royce Keys, is he going to send Jacob to level up in some type of manner? Is he going to be like, oh, okay, go after Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship and get the Intercontinental Championship off of Chad Gable? That could possibly happen. Who knows?
He might.
And then, but what about the Usos? I know they're kind of like going back and forth with like the tag team stuff, but I feel like in order for him to get to that point, like what you were saying, Clarissa, asking how long before he gets to that point, a lot of losses are going to happen. So with that being said, what if they finally lose their first War Games match? Because Jay has been a part of every War Games match since its conception on the main roster.
And you mean like just the Bloodline? Because they lost last year.
They lost.
Did they lose last year? I erased that shit from my brain, bro.
Remember, Punk got pinned because Austin Theory scaled the cage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Braun Breaker pinned him.
But in your defense, that was not a strictly Bloodline match.
It wasn't.
Because it was the three of them with Cody and Punk. That's not a Bloodline match. That was just a random Avengers match. So this would be the first time the Bloodline lost at War Games, because they would go in as the Bloodline.
Yeah. They've done 2 War Games matches as the Bloodline, because they did the ones against the Brawling Brutes, and then they had another one that was up against the MFTs or Bloodline 2.0.
Yes.
And so this will be the third time.
2 full Bloodline War Games matches. So yeah,
well, it would be fucking LA Knight on the other side.
I don't even want to
who
talk
else
about
is it going to be?
But I mean, to Aisha's point, if you think back to War Games, right, which Roman brought up in his promo, how Punk was kind of mocking him as he was coming up behind. Roman was really having a hard time after that match accepting that they lost. But the way that I probably came to terms with it is because this is not my team. This is not my family. My family wouldn't have lost this. So what happens if we go into War Games and the family loses? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what happens if he starts sending Jacob and Jay and Jimmy on these side quests to get gold and they lose?
Oh, hell's gonna break loose.
Like,
we're gonna see that.
How we have to get to the descent.
Yeah.
But
it's starting,
I hate to say this because I hate being one of those people. I hate it. I'm so sorry, y'all. The biggest issue with the descent is that right now, one of the potential lanes, and I know y'all know where I'm going with this, for WrestleMania is Roman Reigns versus The Rock. That is a potential lane. Does the descent happen? You look like Jacob over there. If we're just gonna play into the possibility that that's there, okay? Just like follow me for a second, because hear me out. it ties in to something that we've said here before. Because once upon a time, Aisha said, the
Once
thing that
upon a
ends the
time, not
bloodline.
long ago.
I was a hoe, and I
Hey, hey.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's Mariah Lynn ate that. My bad. Anyway, once upon a time,
Almost just
Aisha
broke my
said,
wrist.
"Please don't." See, you see what I mean?
Look at the
We can't
flick of the
take her. We
wrist.
can't take her nowhere.
It's because I was trying to get on the couch.
Aisha mentioned that the way that this bloodline reign ends is within the bloodline. It's not an outside force, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, the descent starts. The elders call. The Rock shows up, right? Like I know. Just listen. Just give me a second.
It's gotta happen.
Let me cook.
Yeah.
Let me cook. Okay. Roman does beat the Rock, okay? Because he's not losing to the Rock. Fuck out of here with that. However, in this world, Roman's main event both nights, okay? Let me have this.
Oh, I think I like this world.
Let me have this. Hold on.
I think I like it.
Because here's the thing. Roman fucks up so much with this descent that on night 2, as he's going up against Obafemi, maybe the bloodline take his ass out. Or after the match with The Rock. Maybe they beat his ass because they sick of his shit. We're done. It won't be the first time he got a super kick to the face. Definitely ain't gonna be the last.
Well,
and that's how he loses the title, because the bloodline gave up on him. He has no one once again. Again, this is gigantic fantasy booking, okay? This is delusional booking at its finest.
All right, we like to.
I do think the first time we'll ever see the bloodline start interfering in matches again for Roman is going to be Obafemi, because
hell yeah,
absolutely.
Because I do think that before he's able to even get to Roman, he's gonna have to go through Jacob.
Oh yeah.
And Jacob versus Oba is a match on my list of matches I want to see. I'm not going to say it's a dream match, because it's not a dream match. I feel like we use the word dream match a little too loosely these days. If it's within the reach of reality, it's not a dream match, bro. It's a possibility somewhere down the line. And Jacob Fatu versus Obafemi is one of those matches that is definitely down the line, especially as long as they are on the same brand with each other. Like, I would say
it's inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Now, would I say Gunther versus Roman is a dream match? For sure, because they keeping them folks apart for a reason. They're keeping them apart for a reason. It would be quite interesting to see Roman. Like, our only glimpse of getting of Roman and Gunther was in the Royal Rumble. That was the only time, with Roman eliminating Gunther. But and he sold for him very well. He did. He did that. That was another.
He tends to do.
You know, he put over a new talent.
That all the time, quite often. We ignore that. Unlike some, but
But yeah, I definitely think that'll probably be the first time that Roman finally has someone interfere in his matches or in the build, just because Roman is definitely watching Oba. He's been watching Oba. Yeah. He acknowledged that he's been watching Oba. When Oba called him out at WrestleMania weekend, he was like, "Hey, Oba, I see you. I hear you. You cool or whatever. But I'll see you at the end of the year.
Take the summer. Get you. You beat Brock. I did that too."
He said, "Right." He said, "Get your reps in." I mean, you doing stuff I've already done before, kid. Holler at me when you do something new. I've beat everybody in this bitch except for Gunther and you. So like, so they the only two people.
I definitely think Roman's descent is gonna be his downfall, per usual, because he's gonna get power hungry. It's gonna go off to his head again. It's gonna be intriguing to watch, though. I'm sad. I'm interested.
I feel like it's gonna be like a 2-year thing, though. I don't see it happening like immediately.
No, definitely
I feel like it's gonna be.
Okay, so here's my thing. I know they have no plans of taking it off of Roman anytime soon.
He's taking that to Mania, I feel.
I have him with that title until at least Mania, with a 1-year run at minimum. Yeah. I will say that I do understand why you say 2 years, though, because it's slow moving right now. So, we're in August. A lot would have to happen between now and February for the most part. which we do have time, but you know, you also don't want to rush things. But I don't know. I have no idea. I think it really just depends on what Roman possibly has written down for this side of the story. But I do think that this is the final chapter of the OTC Roman Reigns. I think that
Yeah.
after he drops this title, he hands over the mantle of tribal chief, whatever, to someone else. And if we see Roman, we see him, but he's not the tribal chief anymore. Like, yeah, they
Yeah.
might still call him the OTC just for like a honor sake, but he will no longer be the tribal chief, you know?
Yeah.
In my head, he still
Mm-hmm.
hasn't underwent an ego death.
No.
Yeah,
Um,
he got to
I
have an
mean,
ego death.
because I feel like a lot of people would say him losing his title was an ego death, him vanishing, and then like in a sense, quote unquote, losing his bloodline. But it was so easy for him to get his bloodline back when he returned finally that I don't necessarily feel like it was an ego death. Like a lot of people, especially a lot of hardcore Roman fans, they are very against anyone betraying Roman. But I do feel like there is Roman is owed some receipts by some people within the bloodline for sure. You can't just like have him do all the shit that he did during their time together, go unmentioned, Yeah, Jay mentioned it that one time, but like still, you know, I still feel like yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like yeah, he's showing through his actions that he has changed as a person, and that's great. But I don't feel like he has underwent a true ego death because he's back within the world title picture. He's a champion again. He's running this shit, and he's still and in a sense he's still trying to like he hasn't really lost anything. He was able to get everything back just like that. I feel like if he was able to like I feel like if he underwent a true ego death, it would have been incredibly hard for him to get everything back, right? That year after WrestleMania 40, he wasn't even actively chasing after a world title. Like yeah, he acknowledged that Cody had his title, but he wasn't actively chasing after it. He was just doing his own thing, you know? And then he decided that he was ready for a title. And all he had to do was say, I'm ready for a title. That was it. He got in, he did what he had to do. He won the title or won the Royal Rumble, got the title. We knew he was gonna win the title. Come on now. And
Of course.
and then that was it. But I don't truly think he's underwent a true ego death because how can you get the bloodline back together and form them as dangerous as possible as like create the most dangerous version of the bloodline and then not have the idea or the possibility that one of these people could possibly betray me in here, especially being that Jay and Jimmy have done it so much. And then Jacob has a history with Solo of being defiant.
Yeah, I can see it. That's why I said I don't really know where this story goes. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where this version takes us. But there's a lot of pieces that are slowly falling down. Like, you know, it's not anything quick. We're just seeing glimpses of what could be. It's kind of like one of those old school games. There used to be a game where it was like alien invaders and you had to like shoot the spaceships as they were coming down. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah, I
like
know.
okay, as they get closer and closer, you know, they're shooting. It's I kind of feel like it's like that game right now, just at a slower pace, obviously, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
slowly falling down. And
Yeah.
one day it's gonna be we're so overwhelmed with all these pieces that they just and that's what we see. So you
Like
know,
I think Oba is
I'm
a big
intrigued.
obstacle, but he isn't the big story. Like he is an
Right.
Starts
obstacle.
and ends with the bloodline.
Like
He's a
yeah,
piece in the story. He's going
yeah.
to be involved in the story, but he won't be the end of the tribal chief.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like, how because like I was saying this in the live stream the other night, I was like, if Roman was to lose his title, does I know Jay and Jimmy would remain loyal to him, but like, what about Jacob? Jacob probably wouldn't even find any use. He wouldn't find any use in Roman, and he will either do the same thing that Solo did, or he just peace out.
But then that goes back to Haley's point earlier with, oh, well, maybe it doesn't happen at WrestleMania, because maybe Roman does lose the title to Obafemi, let's just say, like that. And that's what starts his descent and the bloodline turning on him. Like, that's why I said, like, there's a lot of different ways that this story could go.
A whole lot of avenues.
Yeah, they have so many different paths to get to the end. And it's like Paul Heyman said a long time ago, like, if this book got 30 chapters, we can think we're at 24, 25, and we really at chapter 7. Like, there's no way to tell where the bloodline story is until Roman and the Usos are ready for us to see where the bloodline story is. They may have a reason, which I'm hoping they do, why we aren't focused as much on the Usos in this chapter. Maybe something's about to change, in the next month or so. I have no clue. But they have me intrigued. I don't know how we get to the end, but it's going to be a nice, bumpy ride. Definitely won't be an easy one.
No, for sure.
Okay, what have we missed, guys?
I don't.
Just the Danhausen and Dom match, which we already.
Girl.
Oh wait. Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige, which.
Oh yeah, we have to touch on that.
I was really just here for the turn at the end. I'm not gonna hold you.
Same.
I'm not like, the match was good. I don't think it was a bad match. I hope Brie recovers very quickly. But the second this match was announced, I was only here for Nikki turning on Paige, and that's exactly how it happened.
My favorite Bellas are heel Bellas, so
Agreed.
I love when they're heel, and I was happy to see it. I don't know where that leaves Paige. I don't know. I feel like AJ Lee comes back into the mix somehow, because as long as Punk's on SmackDown, it's gonna obviously put AJ towards, if she comes back, SmackDown. And Paige and AJ have such a rich history that they could make something happen there.
The problem is, though, how does this story happen when half of the Bella twins is out for the next minimum 4 months?
Well, I do think even if like AJ comes back soon with Paige, like AJ's had her own beef with Nikki and Brie, so I feel like you could have it either be like Paige and Nikki, or just AJ and Nikki. Like, I feel like they could until Brie gets back, just because there was so much beef. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know, this is really me reaching, but if the Judgment Day breaks up and Roxanne Perez comes to SmackDown, just because her and AJ are so tight, that would be interesting if she teamed up with Nikki and they kind of, I know that's me reaching, but just because there's history with them, like, that's like her dream match. I don't know. I could see AJ pushing for that, to be honest with you. Again, that's me definitely reaching, because I don't know. We're not even there yet. She hasn't even turned on Liv yet, but down the line.
All right. Overall, what was y'all SummerSlam rating, 1 to 10? What would you rate SummerSlam?
Night 1 a 5. Night 2, I gave it a 9.
Okay.
Overall, I would say an 8.5, because night 1 was like a 7.5 to me. Was a 7.5 to me, and then night 2 was a 9, because no show is perfect. Right. And so I had to meet it in the middle with an 8.5. I feel like that's a healthy score for a show.
I'm gonna agree with that one, solely because I would give night 2 like a 9.75, but that is solely because of how good Roman versus Seth was. Like, I feel like that is probably one of the best matches I've ever witnessed live. Like, you watch those classic matches back that, have happened, but this was the first instant classic match that I think I've ever seen live to that standard. And so, because night 1 was more of to me, like, I don't think it was a bad show at all. Honestly, I thought a lot of the matches on night 1 were honestly pretty good. I just kind of fell off towards the end of it. So yeah, I think I'll stick with Aisha and do a 8.5. I think you did an 8.5. Also because I think SummerSlam was probably one of their better shows, POE wise, this year. Yeah.
Oh, my hip. My hip. Oh.
Yeah, I lost feeling in my left
It's
issue.
it's because I love sitting crisscross applesauce. I can't not sit with my legs just straight out. I always have to have them crossed underneath me, or I have to be sitting on top of them. There's no in between. So after a while of like sitting on one, I tend to put a lot of my weight on the one that I'm sitting on, and then when I move my leg, it feels like that bitch finna fall off the bone, and I'm like, wait. So I have to move it real slow coming out so I can alternate to the other leg.
And then your hip flexors get tight, and you're like,
I gotta do more mobility exercises. I gotta look up some mobility exercises on TikTok. That way I can kind of work on like getting my hips and everything in order for me to be able to work. I know like there was one thing I watched a TikTok where I don't think you know what this is, Haley, but it's something that in black communities we young women or little girls, we were always told to stop swishing our hips, so we can't walk.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I'm gonna
listen though. I'm gonna learn with the rest of the class.
So what it is we couldn't went our natural way of walking, everyone's, is to sway our hips because that helps with mobility. Within the black community, that was linked to hypersexuality. And so a lot of girls, when they were swishing their hips, was considered fast as in you hot in the ass. Okay. And so we always had to be really stiff with the way we walk. That way we did not give off that appearance that we are floozies, as the elders in our community would say.
Not you quoting Flora right now.
Bro, hey, that's my grandmother.
I know that's
like, you know, and so we wouldn't come off looking like floozies or whatever. And so nowadays, a lot of women realize that a lot of our hip issues that we have is rooted in the fact that we weren't allowed to be able to move our hips the way we need to in order for us to be able to walk perfectly fine. And so I have definitely been trying to work on my hip mobility and kind of reminding myself to unclench my hips while I'm walking and just let my hips just do the thing, bruh. Get my little feline walk on. You know, you feel me? I don't know. Shit. There's some history for you guys. I don't know if this is gonna get cut out, but just in case y'all was curious.
Why would I cut that out? That was a history lesson.
You know? But yeah, that's kinda what it is. So I gotta work on my hips and my mobility and stuff. But
we talked for 3 hours and 13 minutes. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Time to go. Time to go.
Wait, guys, we appreciate you so much. So you're just not gonna let me do the intro? What's going on?
My bad. Go ahead.
Leave this in too. I need them to know. I need them to know. Okay. Well, you guys, I want to thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of the Too Sweet Society. If you liked what you heard today or you liked the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you kind of stay up to date with all the videos that we're going to be having coming out, especially episodes. We update bi-weekly, of course, if you're new here. Make sure you hit that bell on YouTube. That way you turn on post notifications. That way you know when the episodes drop, because we drop every 2 weeks on Wednesday, so just be on the lookout for it. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Music, make sure you give us a thumbs up or a heart, or like give us 5 stars and leave a comment. Let everybody know that this is your favorite podcast. You feel me? And that's really it. 8 letters, 2 words. Too sweet. Peace.
Bye.